Hello, my beautiful gemstones. Welcome to Friday night's live intuitive oracle. It's been a crazy day. Sorry, we are a couple minutes late. Thank you guys for being patient and hanging out. Miss Pixie, I see that you're in here. We're going to get you seen as soon as possible so that if you start not feeling well, again, you can go on and lay down. Not that we don't want you in here, but I just want to make sure. Otherwise, I could always do a timestamp for you because I know you've had a pretty rough week to week and a half. We did, Miss Batmom. We made it to Friday alive. Some of us barely, but we're here, aren't we? Mama Cindy Lee, what is up? And welcome. Jim, hello. Melissa Nicole, what's up, girl? Josephine Van Dam, hello. Josephine, you're going to be 4th or 5th. I will verbally call you. I'm not trying to single you out, except that I know sometimes you don't see when Ghost Dragon puts it in the chat, and that way we don't get held up. On calling your name or anybody's for that matter. Divine Empathic, what is up, girl? Latro, hey, yo, hey. Johnny Yuma. Jason Finch, Sir Nutslap. I'm doing okay, Jason. It's definitely been an interesting week, a week of reflection. I'm making a lot of changes to this channel. I'm very nervous about some of them, but I'm excited about all of them. It's just a matter of like figuring out how to do certain things that I want to do new and figuring out which direction, like where I want to go in all of this. If something doesn't work, if something works, you work it. If it doesn't work, you have to rework it, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing. I've got on some Halloween nails. But it's funny because if you notice, one of the little pumpkins on those fingers is upside down because what happened was yesterday, this one fell off and I'm like, oh, I could easily just glue that back on. Yeah, I glued it on crooked and upside down because I'm not good with stuff. So yeah, let's bring in the man of the hour. And I do have some announcements about going forward. There are going to be a couple little changes to this stream, but we can talk about that as we move on through the night. And if anyone has to leave early for any reason, let us know, and we will try to accommodate everyone as best as we can. Thank you, Jason. All right.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? I'm just watching the chat.
I just noticed we matched, and we didn't do that on purpose.
No, we did not.
I put this shirt on because I had these new, I've been wearing like the crop tops lately. I don't know if you guys watch the shorts. I mean, I wear high-waisted pants anyway, but I got these crop tops and I got these really cute, a black one and a white one, and they're crop top and they're kind of like the halter back, but they come down real low and kind of meet at a square. They're really super cute. But I got a large, and I'm not large up top. I'm large on the bottom, so they didn't fit right. So I'm like, okay, I'll do this differently. I wanted to wear a brownish red wig tonight. So I'm like, what color would look nice with brownish red? I'm like, oh, my blue top looks nice. I'm like, but my blue top, I also like that with the pink hair. In case the brownish red, I'm like, meh, it was a beautiful wig, but I just am not used to it. I'm not used to it. But Miss Pixie, I did take your advice, and I do have a black one with red, like bright red in the bang area and coming down. So I'll try that on throughout the week and see how that one works out. Thank you, Miss Josephine. Thank you, everybody. What's up, Blue Crossroads? Oh, you are getting home from dinner. Okay. I hope that went well. Thank you, Miss Josephine. Yeah, I just forget sometimes that I'm pear-shaped, and that's just bigger on the bottom. It is what it is. Yeah, so October has been insane for me between, school events and the PTA and then trying to do things personally with my son for the holiday and, the trunk or treats and the birthday party. Oh my God. October. I've never been this busy. I don't think I've had a calendar this packed, the days off, the half days in probably like 20 years. Like seriously, this has been the busiest month for me ever. And then work on top of that. So thank you, Miss Pixie. I appreciate that. I have several different pink wigs. This one is the original pink wig. I like the first one I ever bought, and it is my favorite, the lighter pink. All right, guys, let's just get started. Oh yeah, Edna, what's up, girl? The full moon was beautiful last night. I took my little guy out, not for anything fancy. We just kind of went to Walmart. I had to grab like one or two little things. And then there's a pizza place right next to the Walmart and a dollar store. So I'm like, you know what? We can make a couple of hours out of that. So we Ubered there. And I just kept hearing the name Karen in my head because I was going to do a short about it today. And I'm like, I already know that people are going to be upset. But so real quick, the Uber driver, we're standing in front of the pizza place and we're watching the Uber driver. It says 4-minute pickup, right? So 4 minute. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. 4 minutes until pickup. But we watched this dude just sit wherever he was, which was 4 minutes away for like 10 minutes. And I messaged Ghostdragonzw. I'm like, listen, I'm going to send you this drive because I just have a weird feeling. He finally pulls up. It said 4 minutes and it's like 20 minutes later. He pulls up, windows completely down. Now it was like 47 degrees. So it was very, very cold. And the car reeked. And even my son was like, what's that smell? Like, first of all, that smell makes me nauseous. And I don't feel good when I have to smell that. Secondly, you do whatever you want. If it's legal and you're a consenting adult, do what you want. But now you've now involved me and my 6-year-old, right? If it was just me, it'd been like, whatever. He was going so fast. My son also noticed that. He's like, why is he doing like 85 miles an hour? He was swerving all over the road. He was blasting sad breakup music. The poor guy must have been going through a breakup. Missed my turn, slamming on the brake. I mean, by the time I got out of that Uber, I was so scared. Literally that I'm a nervous passenger as it is because of a bad car wreck I got in like 2005. So it was a really bad Uber experience. And I usually don't have those. So I was conflicted as to what to do because it is illegal to drive while under the influence of even that in New Jersey. It's legal to possess X amount and it's legal to smoke, in certain areas, but you cannot drive under the influence of it. Right. So you guys are so funny. Netter, what's up, sweetie? Hey, Mark Halstead. Oh, that's so awesome. A personal Bigfoot encounter. I would love to hear about that, by the way. And I didn't forget about your reading. I just have a lot this month, so they're slowly trickling out. All right, why don't we jump in and get started, and I'll tell you guys my tales along the way, I suppose.
Okay, the first person is Cindy Lee.
So, Netter, I'm glad you said that because that is exactly what I did. I thought about it because I'm like, I don't want someone to lose their job, but at the end of the day, he wasn't driving safely. Like he really was all over the road. It was scary. It was scary. And I don't like that he, put kind of like you involved me and my 6-year-old now. Like you could have just dropped us off. Like I live in the middle of the woods and then like took a little break or whatever it is you need to do. But yeah, and Miss Pixie, I have nothing against it. Like for me, if it helps you and like, it's not like the smell makes me be like, oh my God, I got to go do that. Like, it's not that. I hate the stuff personally for myself. I don't like the way it makes me feel, but it was just like the dangerous, like, I don't know how much he smoked, but he was all over the place to the point where he turned around and asked me what town I was going to, even though the town I was going to is the same town we were already in. And it was right there, real big on his screen. He was just out of his mind. So I did report it. No, the smell makes me very, very sick. Trust me, I tried everything when I got off the other stuff, but that's just something I get like way too goofy and like, I don't know. I get weird on it. All right, Mama Cindy. So I foresee myself getting up to close this window very soon. It just got like a little bit too hot in here because I was, I left the heater on high and then went downstairs for a little bit and then it just got way too hot. So I had to open the windows, but now I could feel it getting chilly. I knew it. Nuts up. No. And like, I knew that people were going to say that. And I was like, I don't know. Like, am I right? Like I was genuinely scared. So it wasn't like I was just, I don't know. But I did report him. Yes. My name was almost Karen. It was what my dad wanted to name me, was Karen. I mean, thank goodness he didn't. Not because I don't like that name, but because of the stigma it now has. All right, we are using human spirit. Yeah, and a big time. And it was scary. Like I said, if it was just me, I wouldn't have given it a second thought. I would have been like, oh, that was kind of messed up. But you involved my son now, and now we got beef. Miss Lotus Girl, what's up? Yep, do you, Miss Lotus? I got you. Spooky Halloween moon. Ominous wispy clouds. Yeah, I don't smoke though, Nut Slap. That's the thing. Okay, so Mama Cindy, you got card number 12, broken open. I think this looks a little bit like it's supposed to be like Mona Lisa-ish. You got it in the upright position. You must have some cracks to let the light shine through. Have you been through something that tore you into pieces, that broke you down to nothing? When we break, it makes space for growth. Like a dense forest, there can be no sun for new growth, but when one tree falls or breaks, it allows the warming sun to penetrate the canopy and feed the roots. You've been through enough. It's time to feed your roots and step into the sun. Remember that sometimes you must tear something down to rebuild a better quote-unquote home. The same is true for us. If we have been through life-shattering events, do not get stuck. If we have been through life-shattering events, do not get stuck in the ruins of what was. Instead, build a fabulous new dwelling. Never underestimate the KERB, K-E-R-B, appeal of a renovated home. So, Mama Cindy, there could be a situation either in your life or that's already happening or that's coming in the next couple of weeks where it's like, okay, did I read for the right person first? Yeah, okay. Sorry, I don't know why. Okay. Where it's just like, there's something you want to like possibly give up on or just kind of not deal with anymore. It could be a relationship. It could be a job. It could literally be anything. So take it as it resonates, where it's like, I've tried and I failed, and I've tried and I failed, and or I tried and this isn't working, or, you know, this person and this person doesn't want to hear it. And the universe is saying like, yeah, it's time to move on when things like that happen, right? We don't ever want to just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again for our entire lives. But here's what the universe is telling you, particularly in the next week or two. It's like, you've learned so much because of whatever this disappointing thing is, or whatever these disappointing things are, not being able to accomplish or achieve something, or, you know, being in the same types of romantic relationships over and over again, whatever this is that you're like, you know what, I'm a complete and total failure at this. I don't want anything to do with it anymore. The universe is like, don't give up. Just change the way you're approaching what and or whoever this is, right? Because I feel like whatever it is, there is hope here still for you to accomplish or achieve whatever this is, whether it be for yourself or whether it's something you're trying to help someone else with. The thing in the next couple of weeks is to kind of like re-navigate what it is. So, you know, for example, I'll just use a simple example like I usually do. So say like for 6 years, you've been trying to make a living off YouTube, and you're like, maybe, you know, after 6 years, you're not really making a living off it. You're like, nothing has really come of it. You've got like 500 subscribers in 6 years. And you're like, you know what? This obviously isn't for me, right? Like all I'm doing is wasting my time. But this would be the universe saying, no. Your heart's not in it. So you're not covering the right stuff or discussing the right things, you know, something like that. But I feel like on a much bigger scale, right? I feel like this is something that's really important to you, that could be really disappointing to you, or really putting you in a state of feeling a little bit more depressed than you normally would. And the universe is saying you don't have to give up, but you do have to really search yourself, do some soul searching, and see like where you can make big changes, because there's a part of this that is inauthentic. There's a part of this that's like you doing something because you feel it's what you're supposed to be doing, as opposed to what you want to do, right? What you want to be doing. Maybe you lost your passion for something a long time ago, but you kept going forward with whatever it is to appease or to please others. And eventually that becomes a miserable experience. Dave Wright, welcome. And Mike J. Guys, let me just close this window really quick. I'll be back in 2 secs.
Next will be Bat Mom, okay? So Bat Mom, hello, and you are next.
All right. All right, Miss Bat Mom, let's use Magic of You. I'm glad it makes sense. Thank you, Miss Mama Cindy. And 2 shakes of I don't know. What did I say? I told you guys, it's been a long week. My short-term memory is really not good. Not good lately. I was going to say a rat's booty hole is actually what was going to come out of my mouth. And then I was like, yeah, don't say that. No, sex, as in seconds. You guys. Mine's right in the gutter. Thank you, Bat Mom. Bat Mom feels me. She knows where I'm at. That's why I love you guys. All right, Miss Bat Mom, you got Oblivion. Open your arms. Card number 20. And Ghost, if we can just maybe get Laura in, because I did promise her before stream I would timestamp her, but since she came in even not feeling well, maybe we don't have to do that tonight. We can just do it while you're in here, Miss Pixie. Are you blind to the gifts around you? Do you tend to cut your nose off to spite your face? There is something beautiful and useful in dark reflections, sorrowful emotions, but these same emotions turn ugly when they rot and fester to become self-pity and martyrdom. The flowers are waiting for when you are ready, but don't let them die. Do not let everyone know what's going on in your head. It's time to keep up appearances. There is great beauty and gifts around you, but you're turning your back to them. Be brave and rise above the suction of self-pity. Avoid wallowing in indulgent sorrows. You have inflicted enough self-suffering. The girl stands in a pool of water. Her emotions are physically manifesting. The water is reflecting the moonlight, but it grows stagnant. It needs to swirl and move. Her arms are folded in resistance. She is blocking the peace and fulfillment that she yearns for, and yet feels that she must deny herself. The petals are starting to fly away in the wind. Do not miss your opportunity because you are wallowing in feeling sorry for yourself. Open your arms and receive the gifts awaiting you. Turn your face to the sun and let the shadows fall behind. Yeah, these are really beautiful interpretations. So yeah, I feel like, look, Bat Mom, you know that you've done all you could in a situation. And you know the pain, the heartache, the hurt, possibly the money, the time, effort, energy, spiritual, psychic, emotional, physical, all of the energies. You know everything you've put into this, whatever it is, or whoever it is. So how could you still, and this is the universe asking you this, not me, because I definitely get it. How could you still sit there and blame yourself for whatever it is not working? Like, have you not done every single thing you could think to do? Have you not tried and given literally sometimes maybe even your blood, your sweat, and your tears to this particular situation, relationship, situationship? It is time for you to take all of that effort, all of that energy, and instead of wallowing in, you know, what didn't end up being, focus it inward. Put it towards yourself, and not to wonder, like, why didn't that work out? To wonder, like, okay, what am I going to do next? You're not focusing enough on you. And of course, as empaths and light workers, it's very rare that many of us do for long periods of time just focus inward. But we really have to start. And Bat Mom, you specifically, if you gave even a modicum of what you give to everybody else, you know, like 1/15 to yourself, you would be able to, I think, accomplish so much more. And not only that, see situations much more clearly from the beginning. And not only that, instead of just being able to identify the red flags, you'd be able to avoid that and to say like, no thanks. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being like, well, I could work with that, you know, like a lot of us do. Bat Mom, in the next couple of weeks, I would say it is time to give up on a certain idea or situation, person, relationship, etc. But there may be a way that you can, again, take that energy and do something for yourself. Okay. That maybe instead of, you know, I don't know, I'm just going to use an example. Say you were planning on investing another $300 into your friend's addiction, you know, knowingly so, even though the friend was lying to you. Maybe invest that money in yourself, in like a spa day or paying an extra bill or doing something that makes you feel good about you. Treat yourself. Yes, you are not treating yourself, and you're not treating yourself as well as you treat others. And we should be treating ourselves better sometimes and in certain ways than we treat others. Because again, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? Bat Mom, give yourself some credit and give yourself a break. Do not let anyone tell you that, at least in this particular situation and or with this particular person, Melissa, that you didn't try, because you know you did. So stop questioning it. Stop second guessing yourself. Just, you know deep down inside you did everything you could. What a lovely day. 90. Well, hello. Yes, you can get your name on the list for a reading if that's what you'd like.
Next
we suggest that if you get a reading, you donate, but if you don't want to or can't donate, then you can just say you want a reading and I will pull a card for you. Dave Wright, yes. As soon as you come in, you're automatically on the list. And then if we call your name and you don't want a reading, then you could just say no, pass, whatever. So welcome, by the way. Anyone new and all of my gemstones. Anyone I didn't say hi to, Roger, I believe, came in. At the very least, I didn't get to say hi to him. And yeah, who's next?
Okay, next is Laura. We're going to go ahead and do Laura.
Okay. What a lovely day. I got you. You just hang out, and when it's your turn, I will call your name first before pulling from the card. All right, Miss Lara, pulling the card. Miss Lara, let's use the fairy tale oracle. Thank you, Miss Melissa Nicole. All right, Miss Pixie Girl, you got card number 25, the card of brother and sister, transformation. All right, Sir Slap. Thank you for letting us know. Thank you, Miss Batmom. I appreciate you. Like I said, this is my favorite pink one that I have by far. And I always forget about it because it's like buried. All right, Miss Pixie. So she hunted up leaves and moss to make a soft bed for the little roe, and every morning and evening she went out and gathered roots, nuts, and berries for herself and tender young grass for the fawn. And he fed from her hand and played round her and seemed quite happy. In the evening, when sister was tired, she said her prayers and then laid her head on the fawn's back and fell sound asleep with it as a pillow. And if brother had but kept his natural form, really it would have been a most delightful kind of life. In this enchanting tale, which has variations from the old Nordic lands to the steppes of Russia, a young man and woman, barely out of their childhood, are driven from their homes. There is an enchantment upon the land, and when they come to a stream, the thirsty brother is warned by his sister not to drink from it, or he will be turned into a wild bear and tear her apart. At the next stream, he again just resists drinking For his sister warns him again that if he does so, he will be turned into a wolf and she will be devoured. But when they reach the third stream, his thirst cannot be tamed and he drinks. And at this stream, he turns immediately into a young roebuck. His sister promises to care for him and to prevent him running away. She plaits a rope of rushes and gently leads him to a house she finds in the woods. She cares for him, forages for him, and they live a beautiful life until a king enters the forest with his hunting party. This part of the tale is the ancient remnant of the wild hunt. This fairy king will break the enchantment in part at first by discovering this beautiful woman who cares so tenderly for her brother. I was confused because they spelled by there B-U-Y. But after making her his queen and caring for her and respecting her and her brother, the enchantress discovers this and comes after the happiness of the young woman yet again. This shows the relentless nature of resentment and the folly of holding on to it. Because, of course, the evil one is defeated and balance and his human form is restored to the brother. This tale is about so much, how you can balance what you want with what will take place once you obtain it, how to delay your gratification, how to maintain your integrity with the wild and yet be able to have a strong will, and how to live a good life when we seem to be cursed, and how to survive the envy of others when our happiness is too much for bitter hearts to bear. And of course, it's about close relationships with family members and the caring we do for the young, helping them work their way through the difference between what they want and what will harm them. So this is kind of like what it says here is wisdom and instinct must be brought into harmony. So what your natural inclination towards something or someone is, Miss Pixie, in the next couple of weeks versus what you know, right? And I talk about this a lot. I think we've all been through this, and I always use a romantic relationship as an example where, like, us as light workers, as empaths, we see the light in people. So even though we see red flags, we're like, well, that doesn't necessarily mean that they work with those red flags. You know what I mean? So we know that this person may not be good for us, or this situation or whatever it is may not be good for us instinctually. But our mind kind of, that's why I always say, like, don't follow your heart. It's the biggest deceiver, but also don't follow your mind because it will overanalyze and can convince you of anything. And I feel like in the next couple of weeks, there's definitely some situation coming in where your mind wants to kind of overthink and talk you into doing something against your better judgment. Okay. I also foresee you struggling in some area, a couple of areas, actually. You've got quite a bit of energetic struggle and turmoil going on, even if it's nothing great, big, or massive. You know, like how in a lot of little things just go wrong. I'm definitely getting that type of feeling for you in the next couple of weeks. But the universe is saying, you know, look around and count your blessings. And I know that can be really annoying to hear when you're struggling. Trust me. And remember, it's not your girl Gemma, it's your team. But like keeping that in your head, in your mind of like, okay, this is happening, but if this didn't happen last time, then I wouldn't have been blessed with XYZ. Like always looking forward to the blessing of whatever the disastrous moment could be. And the advice that I would give you here, well, that your team is giving you here for the next 2 weeks, is just like stay the course, don't give up. You can only do, what's up, Julie girl? You can only do as much as you can do for someone. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can lead a thirsty brother to water, but you can't stop him from drinking. At the end of the day, it's going to be that person's decision and theirs alone. You know, whether you agree with it, whether you know, they know what's good for them or not. You cannot control the outcome for everybody, only the outcome and the lesson for yourself. And I feel like that is a hard lesson. You're either right in the thick of learning right now, or you're about to step into the learning process of that. Who's coming to New Jersey next weekend? Miss Girl, whereabouts in New Jersey? Who's next? Hey, Ralph and Cassie.
Jim, I was just making sure.
Very good. Make sure you keep doing that. I feel like somebody is going to disappoint you in the next couple of weeks, and it could come out of the clear blue sky because it's like you feel like you've maybe have gotten through with this person, or you've worked with this person, and then all of a sudden they do a complete like 360 and like completely turn around and do the exact opposite of everything you guys have discussed. And I know, as a healer, as somebody who's always looking like, who can I help next? That can be really painful. And we tend to take a lot of that on ourselves as guilt, but please don't do that. This person was meant to go this route regardless of who stepped into their lives, because it's what they charted for themselves. They have to learn this hard lesson. Okay, what a lovely day. If you could hang out for just a couple more minutes, I'm already shuffling for someone else, but I could read for you next card if you'd like. Otherwise, you can try again next week. Although next week, things are going to be a little bit different in here. But if you want to hang out for like 4 or 5 minutes, I could read for you next. Divine Empathic, hold that thought. Jim, I'm using Gateway to Liminal Spirits. Fish. Jim, the fish resides in a curious place that fascinates the human mind, the realm of water situated between earth and sky. To add to that mystery, our ancient awareness that water is vital for life, and a deep symbolism is forged. The fish brings fertility, rejuvenation, playfulness, inspiration, determination, and luck. The mesmerizing underwater motion of fluttering fins speaks to our own unconscious or dreaming self swimming beneath our active minds. Tiny revelations can be found in bubbles that rise to the surface. Conserve your resources, even though things seem bountiful. If you give in to greed or don't plan accordingly, you will come up very, very short very soon. Now may not be the time to go against the grain. You'll waste time and energy. Instead, utilize the power of the tides to aid you in what you need to accomplish. You are the master of your space. Take time to enjoy where you are, who you are, and how you are. You are someone to celebrate. So, Jim, yeah, definitely make sure that you're saving your pennies for a rainy day, I guess. I just feel like some sort of emergent or emergency situation is coming in, where you may need an extra, some extra funds. I don't see it as being, thank you so much, Miss Pixie. I definitely appreciate you and for everything you've done outside of here to help make Para-Unity possible. I appreciate that. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, Jim, where it's like it's something you have to worry about. But I do feel like your finances are going to be coming up a little bit short in some area in the next couple of weeks if you're not careful. So if you're sitting there and you're deciding, like, should I make this purchase? Shouldn't I? If you have to think about it, just put it off for like at least 2 weeks, right? If it's something that can't wait, obviously you're not going to wait. But if it's something you're actually deciding on, definitely give it 2 more weeks, because I feel like whatever that money is could be better used or better spent in something that's about to pop up. Very surprising. You could also be dealing with a Pisces. This is big Pisces energy. A lot of emotional back and forth with you in the next 2 weeks, where you're kind of going from one extreme to the other. And I do feel like outside influences will be affecting you more than they normally do, right? So like, whereas your crotchety old neighbor who's like a Karen normally wouldn't bother you, when she yells over and says you're dumb for something, you like, it bothers you, and like suddenly you're wondering, like, am I dumb? You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, these little tiny stupid things are going to be getting to you. You're just in a little bit of an emotionally turmoiled type of space, I guess, is the only way that I could say that. Make sure you remember that this is just energetic shifts in, the geomagnetic storms and things going on with the supermoon and just the time of the year it is. In the next couple of weeks, just be very mindful of keeping yourself grounded in reality and not allowing yourself to get like carried away with these, stories you tell yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, you're doing amazing. You're very blessed. You're a great human being. And you really have nothing to worry about. Just, again, Put aside a few extra pennies, don't make any major purchases, and don't let your emotions get the better of you, particularly in interpersonal relationships situations. All right, Miss Pixie.
Next would have been what lovely, but she never answered back. So go ahead and do Nicole. Miss Lissa Nicole.
And I said hit that thumbs up. I'm in no mood to play tonight. Believe it or not, Anna, I'm really not in the best of mood tonight either, but you wouldn't know it because you guys definitely do boost my energy whenever I'm around y'all. Pick up a few. Oh, Carney, yeah. That is actually not very far from me. You have my number. Why don't you text me? Because that might be perfectly, totally doable. What's up, Miss Smoochy Girl? Melissa, I'm using Queen Maeve. That would be amazing. Yeah, Carney's not very far from me. I know right where it is, actually. It's nearer to where I grew up. That is definitely true, Miss Julie Girl. Oh, no, Miss Smoochy. Queen Maeve. Why this time, Smoochy? All right, Melissa Nicole. Heart is bleeding. Card number 21. Be kind and compassionate toward yourself. You have become so invested in imposing commitment, standard, belief, fear, or self-image that you've forgotten to notice or value how your heart feels. First and foremost, tend to your heart. Acknowledge where you are suffering. Be mindful of the ways you feel exhausted, inauthentic, out of your element, or out of alignment with your values. Perhaps you're spending significant time in an environment that doesn't nourish you, or around people who don't actually know you or want you to thrive. Or you may be hiding your true personality or preferences, not just from others, but also from yourself. It may also be the case that you need to take some downtime to rest, journal, and to become aware of your true feelings and desires. Once you take time to listen to yourself, you may discover that you will benefit from making a major change, such as leaving a relationship, leaving a study program or career, or perhaps embarking on a brand new path. Or you might want to stay where you are, but to do so authentically, you need to make some changes in how you show up or interact. You could be operating under the assumption that a relationship or life choice will only work if you completely or partially conceal who you are. That assumption is self-defeating. Here's why. If you choose to stay in the situation without making any changes to how you approach it, you will undoubtedly begin to feel drained. On the other hand, you may abruptly leave the situation before you actually know whether or not it's a good match for you. I answered that already. Queen Maeve. The only solution is to be transparent and genuine. Have a potentially uncomfortable conversation. State what you need. Open up and let your true feelings and desires show. Set whatever boundaries feel right to you and see what happens. What? Yeah, you can't just interrupt my readings like that. What's up, Carl? All right, Dave. Hopefully we can get you to be next. Set whatever boundaries feel right to you and see what happens. Some situations and relationships will be in harmony with you. Others won't, but you can't know unless you give yourself the opportunity to find out. Have compassion for yourself. Remember your value. Take the time you need to reconnect with your heart. Allow your feelings to be what they are without judging them, and then follow your heart's clear direction. Ghost, you're good. You can't just, when I'm doing the book, try not to do that if you can help it.
I thought I was on mute.
Okay, no problem. Miss Melissa Nicole, I mean, I feel like at this point, you already know what this is pertaining to. Yeah, Miss Smoochie, we go way back. I accidentally called her Carl once, so it's been an ongoing joke, an ongoing thing. Melissa, we already know what this is about, right? We already know that you need to physically exit a relationship, right? But here's the thing. If you are not ready or able to do that, it doesn't matter how willing you are. I know that, and I get that, and this isn't to shame you and be like, why haven't you left yet? We've already talked about this, right? I know for me, when I was in that kind of a situation, that's what I would hear. Whenever someone would bring it up, I would hear, as though they were judging me. And I just want you to know, I am not judging you, and nobody else in here is, at least I don't think they are. The thing is, you have to change the way you show up. Okay. You cannot keep doing things the exact same way every single day, all of the time. And, even if the other person in whatever this is won't change, refuses, thinks they're doing nothing wrong. First of all, if you feel you have no room to grow, you're probably not vibrating that high, because everybody who is at least a little bit higher vibrating knows we have to look inward a lot of the time to understand the problem. But if that person is not willing to change anything, then start changing things for yourself instead of changing things for the relationship, right? So, for example, if you can't just get up and leave, instead of changing how you interact with them, maybe change the way you self-talk to yourself, right? Because I always suggest emotionally detaching, but that's not for everybody either, Maybe it's something here where it's like, okay, you have to remember, who you really are. You have to remember your wants, your likes, your dreams, your hopes, your fears, and you're going to have to figure out a way to do that in the context of being in whatever abusive situation this is, because the other person's not changing. They're not capable, at least not at this moment in time. So where does that leave you if you can't leave or aren't ready to leave? Doing the same thing every single day, day in, day out, is not going to work for you. More physically separated than emotionally. Okay, but that is a huge, major, major, major step, right? You've got to continue that narrative in your head and remind yourself of the reason that you guys are physically separated, right? Or you have a whole team of people in here that I'll be willing to text you once a day, every day, to remind you why that's a bad idea to get back involved in that. Okay. Yes, exactly. This is about putting yourself out there, not to like date someone else or jump into another relationship immediately. This is about, in the next couple of weeks, specifically, Melissa, rekindling that relationship with Melissa Nicole. Who are you now? Right? You've been with this person how many years? And in that time, you've lost so much of yourself. You're not the same woman or girl you were. I would say woman when you first started the relationship. And when we're in abuse, we're not the same people we were yesterday sometimes, right? 5. Okay. Don't double that and sit around wondering what the F is going on. And, every time you think something shifted in the power dynamic, just to realize you're once again bamboozled. You have to get to know you again. And if I were you, I would get out of grief mode and right into getting to know yourself again, because the more you get to know you, the stronger you'll start to feel. And that strong part of you will override that emotional part of you that's, like, oh, I miss him. Maybe there are things about this person you miss. I'm sure there are, not to mention you've been indoctrinated to believe for so long that you're the one who's wrong. You've only just recently come to the realization that it might not be all you all the time. You've got to get to know yourself. And if you have absolutely no one in your life that can be there for you and that kind of emotional support, you're really going to have to step it up a notch for yourself, Melissa. Be there for you. Be your own cheerleader. Be your own best friend, because think about the worst time. I remember I always would think about this time when I had to hide and lock myself in a closet and make myself as small as possible and just cry. And I have to keep going back there. I would have to remind myself why not to call this person. This was my ex-husband when I was like 18, but still, right? Keep those horrible memories in your mind to stop you from doing something rash or irrational, but not all the time in your mind where you walk around dwelling on it. It's a delicate balance. You are worth it. And I feel like if you look inward enough, and if you focus enough of that energy on doing positive things for yourself, doing nice things for yourself, saying nice things to yourself every single day, reinforcing and reassuring yourself, you will be just fine. You will get through this. Right. That's not you. So you have to show yourself that that's not what you are. Prove it to yourself just by being yourself. You know, go out in public and just talk to a random person, or, you know, hit up a friend you haven't seen in a while. Nobody that's going to put any kind of pressure on you. Yeah, Dave, and you know, hey, baby UFO, it's such an easy thing to do, particularly with certain kinds of abusers, like narcissists. They really, I had someone recently, I went to them and I was crying, and I was, you know, talking to them about how I felt like I was being gaslit, because I know that they had agreed to X, Y, and Z time and time and time again, and they never delivered on X, Y, and Z after years and years and years. And this person literally started dancing the cha-cha by themselves in front of me, going, "Let's talk then. Don't gaslight me, narcissist. Come on." Mocking me and what I do for a living, and mocking the fact that I was trying to have a conversation, because they knew it was going to hurt me bad enough that I was going to become enraged and either attack them or storm off, and that would have been the end of the conversation. This literally just happened a couple of days ago. And I remember going upstairs and texting Steven, just shocked. I'm like, "You are not going to believe what just happened to me. You know, I saw so-and-so and I confronted them about gaslighting me, and they literally started dancing and mocking me." And I was enraged, but I refused to act on it in front of them, because that emotional response is exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for you to flip out so they can say, "Oh, look at how you treat me," or "Look at how you're acting." And then it's no longer about what they did in the first place. It's about your response, about you're crazy. I hope so, Melissa. Oh yeah, Miss Pixie, it happened. You can ask Ghost Dragons. I was almost speechless. I was so irate. Baby UFO, I wish I could have. It's just like, when it's someone you're that close to, and like you always feel so less than around them, when you finally get the courage to bring something to them in a very calm way and just say, "Hey, you know, these are the facts of the situation," not even talking about your feelings, because you know that's going to get you nowhere. And they still do that. Like, it's an avoidance tactic, right? Because this person didn't want to face up to the facts of what they had done or what they hadn't done. Who's the new person that said they had to? Dave Wright. Let's get Dave in.
Yeah, I was just going to say, go ahead and do him, because I had told him he was next.
Oh, yeah, Miss Jules. Yeah. Melissa Nicole, that's what it's become lately. It's become more mocking than anything else, because I think everything else like has been said and done and like tried on me. And I've studied this behavior so much, and I've learned so much about it, and I've researched so much into it, and I've tried so many different things. I feel like now the only way they can really get to me is by making fun of me. I told you guys, I think it was about a month ago, they had once again, you know, they had done something they promised over and over again they weren't going to do. And when I brought it up, I was like, yeah, but they were like, "I'm sorry." I said, "I'm sorry. That's the end of the story." I was like, "Yeah, but you've apologized for this like 100 times." I said, "No." I said, "Apology without change is manipulation." They're like, "Yes, just like this. And the Emancipation Proclamation at the therapist was in denial that day because the Oracle," like just throwing out all of these random words that I use in my streams to mock me, instead of saying, "You're right. I do need to let me look inward and see if maybe there is something about what you're saying." But they absolutely cannot look inward. Melissa, I believe they all do in one way or another. Do you know what I mean? Some more so than others, just like some rage and some don't. The person I deal with, there is no rage at all. Not ever. There's not even a raised voice. And you think that'd be like, "Oh my gosh, you're so lucky. You don't get, you know, when you have to be around this person, at least you don't get yelled at." But I don't know what's worse. you know, because this person will also ignore me as though I'm not even speaking. When I'm literally right there in front of them, they will turn and walk out of wherever we are as though I'm not even speaking and refuse to acknowledge my presence, or like ignore my birthday or holidays, you know? All right, let's do Dave Wright. We're going to use the ancestor spirit. All right, Ralph, that's cool.
To interrupt you real quick, Josephine, you're next. After Dave.
So, yeah, Josephine, you're after Dave, and Dave is who I'm pulling for right now. And you know what's crazy? And Melissa, this isn't just you. I think it's so many of us in here who have been victims of this type of abuse in one relationship or another, some of us many, where you can sit there and you could say, oh my gosh, Dave, I'm so sorry. But do you ever look in the mirror and say, oh my gosh, Melissa, I'm so sorry. You deserve so much better. And if you do you mean it? Hey, Jared. Okay. Adam, what's up? All right, Dave. Yeah, I'm one of those people too. Like, if you're someone I don't really care about, or like I don't know, you cannot get to me. There's nothing you can say. Like with trolls, it used to bother me. Like, it just doesn't bother me. You can't, there's nothing you can do. Will it sting a tiny bit? Maybe. Yeah, depending on what you're talking about. But if I care about you, I immediately cry when I'm mad. Immediately. There's no like, there are no steps. If I'm angry, I'm crying and shaking, and like it's very visible. So when I'm around this person, what I'll do is, like, you guys probably have seen my pictures. I wear like giant sunglasses. That's not the only reason. I love the sunglasses. But one of the reasons I took to wearing those is because it's hard to see the expressions that are on my face. I usually cry and then run because I know myself, you know? It took years of being abused in all different types of abuse and being an abuser, because I was for a very long time, to know my boundaries and my limits of like when I do need to walk away. But I've learned to do so quietly. I don't put threat. I don't like threat. And like, I don't do that because it got me in some really big trouble where I said one small thing, I wish you were unalive. And that turned into an entire like court case. like because, you know, they took what I said and turned it into something different. All right. Dave, thank you for being patient. In Vedic, whole self health. In Vedic tradition, Soma was a sacred drink that was stolen from the gods and gifted to humans by Agni, the fire god. Soma was prepared in a sacred ritual and consumed by the Vedic priests for stimulation and to give them spiritual inspiration, wisdom, and courage. Have a look at your whole self. Have you felt sluggish or out of balance? Have you been craving a certain type of food or drink? Be conscious of everything you are putting into your body, including food, ideas, images, and even your breath. What you are what you consume. Be more aware of what you choose to put into your body. Make choices for your wellness. Focus on refining your diet. You may need to add, avoid, or moderate a food or food group. Each person's body reacts to foods and drinks in its own way. Only you can determine what's the best diet for you. And you can only do this by paying attention to your whole self. Tiredness, headaches, pain, stomach issues, or something else you have accepted as normal can be improved or alleviated by changing your diet. This card is prompting you to take charge of your health by making a change and creating wellness. So, Dave, usually I see no, did not go well. Usually I see like 2 weeks in advance. So what I would say is, I don't like, even with when these cards come out and say like, you know, maybe consider making changes to your diet. excuse me, I don't really like giving that advice. I feel like you would know if you needed to change something, right? You don't need an oracle to tell you that. But what I will say, my allergies, is definitely in the next couple of weeks, watch what you eat and drink. Watch the places you go. Watch. I just see you getting sick, like some sort of maybe like food poisoning, or, for example, you have a peanut allergy and you go out to a new restaurant and don't remember to ask if they use peanut oil for like whatever. There's something here of like food and or drink making you very, very ill. Not in like a deadly way. Obviously, if your weight and your health is an issue. Okay. I wasn't going to say obviously that. I was going to say obviously something else. And then I read that. So I was not saying obviously your weight and health is an issue. If it is, I want you to pay very, very close attention to it in the next 2 weeks for the reason I just said. Like there's risk for food poisoning or some sort of allergy to like spring up out of nowhere possibly. But also something with your heart. If you start getting, I don't like giving these types of messages either, but I can only give the message I receive. So something with your heart, I'm not saying heart attack per se, but I would say in the next couple of weeks, if you notice any kind of aches and pains or anything that just doesn't feel right about your body, particularly inside. So like, sure, your toe might hurt and you don't know why. I'm not talking about that kind of pain. I'm talking about, you know what I mean? Like when something just doesn't feel right, kind of follow that instinct. Okay. Follow that. Go to like the doctor, or at the very least make an appointment, get it checked. Don't leave it just linger until like it stops hurting or stops bothering you, so that 6 months from now it can show back up in a much bigger way. Right. Adam R. So I do allow one question, but just keep in mind these are one card readings. So I offer personals outside of this stream. I do my best to answer your question with just one card, but I normally can get a pretty good answer depending on what the question is. So you're free to ask it, but just disclaimer, I may not come up with an answer because I'm only using one card and my regular readings are 7 to 10, sometimes 12 cards. But yes, feel free to ask a question. And I will get to it as soon as it's your turn. I'm so sorry about blowing my nose on stream, but it's allergies. Okay, who's next?
Josephine.
And I just saw your private chat, Ghost Dragons. I wasn't questioning your...
Oh, I know, but I was afraid something else would happen.
All right, Miss Josephine. Okay, so Dave, I didn't pick up anything, negative about like her surgery or anything like that, which is good. And that could also be why this card came up, because maybe it's got you thinking more about like your physical health and like how maybe you don't want to go through something like a surgery, regardless of what hers is for. It could have you maybe thinking about those types of things. I didn't see anything like, and normally I would, not every time, but normally I would say something like, someone is going in for surgery or something. And so normally I would see that if there were going to be a complication or an issue. Guys, thank you so much for vouching for me. That actually means a lot to me. I do love that. And yeah, thank you, Divine. Thank you, everybody. Multifaceted Jewels. My allergies popped up randomly out of nowhere, like the day I turned 40. The day I turned 40, I started having all these allergies, like to outside stuff, like pollen and ragweed and whatever, whatever is out there right now in this fine New Jersey air. But I never had allergies like that before. Crazy. Saline for real? Wow. All right, Miss Josephine, have a great night, great weekend, Dave. And thank you so much for coming in. We're here every week on Friday. So just pop in and say hi if you ever should so feel the urge. You're more than welcome. Local honey. I will try that because it's driving me crazy, especially for someone, again, for 39 years, I never had to deal with this issue. Now my window's cracked this much for like 10 minutes and I can't breathe. I do have pretty severe asthma. I've always had it though, and vaping doesn't help. Oh yeah, Miss Pixie, it stinks, but it always could be worse, right? Smoochie, I guess depending on what you're struggling with, Josephine. I would like for Josephine to answer.
She did say she was here. I just didn't see her pop back in after that.
Lotus girl, I got you. Go do your thing. Oh, nice. Thank you, Blue. All right. Well, Miss Josephine, you got hope. When you choose the symbol of hope, know that no matter what temporary setbacks there may be in your life now, light will return again. When the moon is hidden in the darkest forest, it is hard to see your next step, and it is easy to give in to the fear that there will never be safety or light again. I am here to guide you when you have lost your way, whispering to you to maintain faith that good things will come your way once more. Take one step toward your dream. I will take 2 steps toward you to help you achieve it. Have hope, and only good will come of it. So, Miss Josephine, there was a deck I wanted to put out here. I'm going to grab it in a minute. I didn't open it, but I did want to. I just remembered. Miss Josephine, so this is talking about hope, right? And understanding that hope can be a double-edged sword in a way. And I'm going to use the most extreme example I can think of because it's something I've been through many times. And again, guys, when I'm talking about relationships and abuse, I'm not necessarily talking about anything I'm going through now or like in my home. So I don't want anyone to like get the wrong idea, because I think last week some people did get that idea. But anyway, just disclaimer. But hope can be a double-edged sword. So if you're someone who's in like an abusive relationship, hope that your abuser is ever going to change will keep you stuck, right? But on the other hand, hope that there's something better outside of that relationship will keep you going. So it's really finding that balance and drawing that line, that hard line in the sand yourself, Josephine, of not being sucked into this false sense of hope, this false narrative of, just sit back and watch the universe work and watch everything come together and fall into your lap. Like, no, But if you're putting actionable steps behind what you're trying to achieve, if you're putting the work and the time, the effort, the energy in, if you're making the sacrifices, if you're remaining optimistic even in the face of adversity, you should be doing more than hoping, because things should start to fall into place. I think in this card, though, Miss Josephine is talking about that false sense of hope, that sense that so-and-so is going to change. And this doesn't have to be a lover or romantic partner. It could be a boss or a parent, even a child, a kid, one of your kids. There is something going on in your life that is just, I don't want to say it's hopeless. It really is in this one area of your life, Miss Josephine. But unfortunately, this is the one area of your life that you're most focused on. So if you're focused on something that's hopeless, guess what? Everything else around you is going to start looking very hopeless. This is the universe asking you to step outside of that mindset, out of that mind frame, out of that situation or relationship, whatever it is, and just take a long, hard look at you, the things you're doing, the things you're trying to accomplish, and what you have to do to get from point A to point B. Stop focusing on whether or not someone else will do something, and focus on what you can do for you to better your situation in any area of your life. What's up, Life with Bobby? Guys, let me just find, there it is. Okay. Who's next?
Okay, next is Divine.
Miss Divine, I'm sorry.
I was going to let them know that after Divine, we'll do the new person, Adam R.
Adam R. Okay, so Divine with Dark Goddess, and then Adam R. You're welcome, Miss Josephine. Thank you. All right, Miss Divine, you got Callie. She's one of my favorites. She's so badass. I used to actually be fearful of the Callie archetype, but I actually really thinks she's beautiful now. She is the card or the goddess of destruction. Oh, you're so welcome. That's so awesome. All right. Destruction, chaos, oh so near. Don't let change instill a fear. Stand strong and watch the old decay. A new dawn welcomes you. Hooray! By the power of the dark goddess and me, protection in place, blessed be. Turmoil, upheaval, disorder, and confusion have been your companions for a while. Divine, so don't be alarmed when Kali the Destroyer enters your life, for she has appeared for good reason. Something is about to end for you as you look through the eyes of Kali. The illusory, self-centered view of your reality adjusts, for she brings death to the ego. Kali has orchestrated all that has been occurring for you lately and affirms that in order to bring in something new, the old must be destroyed. Kali urges you to let go as you allow yourself to accept the end of certain situations and or relationships in your life. When you understand the cycle of life, of birth, death, and rebirth, the fear of change shall be no more. Change is simply a transition that is needed to escalate you further. As you allow Kali to safely escort you through any chaos and destruction, you can be assured that this ending is just the beginning. Don't give up and keep going. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Everything happens for a reason. Release the old so the new can enter in. Walk away from harsh energies. A new relationship is waiting in the wings. And remember that everything is divinely timed. So, Divine, this doesn't necessarily mean that, like, you know, that you're in something toxic. I feel like it's kind of like the complete ending of a cycle is how I feel. Like you've already stepped outside of this toxic situation, whatever it is, but it's like now it's like cutting the ties even more, right? So this is kind of like having to co-parent with an abusive person. Now finally you got it to the point where this abuser is not going to be around your kids anymore. This is just cutting the ties even more. I feel as though not only is there going to be a new potential romantic partner coming in the next 2 to 4 weeks, but I do see someone from the past, possibly the toxic person we were just talking about, really trying to digging their heels in and like refusing to accept what is going on, what is happening for once and for all. That's the great beauty of narcissists, is like confront them with the law, with like a court order, with, you know, they hate authority. It's like their kryptonite. Divine, I'm seeing a whole bunch of different scenarios playing out in my head, but the main two I want you to focus on is one, there is new love in the air, or at the very least a companion that can make you feel good about yourself, maybe a soul-mated, very close friend or a friendship that's forming. Do not let this toxic person from the past, no matter who it is, it doesn't have to be the toxic ex. It could be literally anyone popping back in, trying to sabotage this particular relationship. Don't allow it. Like, just literally refuse to allow it. Keep looking forward. Keep, you know, counting your blessings. Keep doing exactly what you're doing, because whatever it is got you out of there into the space you're in now. And while things aren't perfect, I'm sure they're much better than when you were beholding to someone who didn't care about you or who abused you. Don't look back. Not for a second. Keep looking forward. And if something seems like it's not really working out as you'd hoped, and it's something you were really hoping for in your life, just analyze the situation and kind of like recalibrate what it is you need to do. And because I do feel like you're trying to accomplish something or like work something into your schedule. There's something happening here that it just seems like it's not working out. And you're like, but I want this so bad. Like it has to be for me, you know, whether it's a career or whatever it is. The universe is saying it definitely is for you. You're just taking the wrong approach and it's not quite time yet. So while you're doing this recalibration and figuring out how you're going to continue to move forward, but in a different way towards the same goal or idea or ideal, that's when the universe will be working its magic. And if you can accept new love specifically, but like a new light in your life in the form of a person who gets you, accept them. And don't think for a second about all the things that could go wrong or all the people or the person who could try to come in and destroy it or cut it off at the head. Yeah, and me too. Oh, Divine, I'm so glad it resonates. Okay, Adam R., you had a question? All right, let's see. I am using the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. And I just want to say before I pull this card that, I mean, I guess it depends on your situation. If you are literally physically, like in a position where you're not like physically strong, literally, then I would see the need for guidance on that. But just to speak energetically to you, right? Again, I'll still pull the card and read. I just want to say, like, my initial gut reaction is you are so much stronger energetically than you're giving yourself credit for. So Bella Isabella, what are the vibes? We're kind of just hanging out. I pull one card for anyone who wants one. As I was telling Adamar, who's also new, I can definitely take a question, but because it's just one card, I normally don't. I just give the general read. But I can usually answer a question. Yeah. And you just have to kind of wait your turn. That's all. Adam, I think you're not, you're seeing strength as physical only and possibly overlooking spiritual and intellectual. But let's see. All right. So you pulled Venus in Scorpio. All right. Which it doesn't mean your Venus in your chart is in Scorpio. It very well could be, but this is the energy coming in for you, Adam, in the next 2 weeks. In matters of love, Venus in Scorpio is the hot house. In the opposite sign to its natural home, Taurus, the gentle nature of Venus becomes an emotional fireball. In romantic life, people with this planet sign aspect are passionate, loyal, and strongly sexed. Their reactions are emotional and desires are intense. They are also secretive and do not talk about their inner emotional life easily. This card describes someone who idealizes friends and loved ones and makes sacrifices for them without a second thought. Letdowns can turn all of this into cold indifference, even vindictiveness, with the extreme nature of this personality. The artistic side of Venus and Scorpio can manifest in strong, dramatic contrasts. Often it indicates interest in the inner mysteries and occult arts. There is a suggestion of financial gain through marriage or partnership with this card. It can also hint at an inheritance. On occasion, this placing of Venus reveals a highly sensuous nature or overemphasis on sex. The sex drive of Venus Scorpio is powerful, and if not overly strenuous, they do best with a creative outlet for that pent-up energy. Often, this combination indicates that withdrawal of emotional response over a long time. When one receives this card in a reading, it usually indicates that a deep secret is being held by the questioner or is being hidden from them by someone very close. So, okay, let's look at everything here. So Bella Isabella, when I call your name, if you have a question, you can just put it in the chat and I'll do my best to answer it for you with one card. Again, 99.9% of the time I can, but every once in a while it eludes me with just one card. So Adam, okay. There's a lot here. I'm going to answer your question last. I'm going to give you the messages I got for you, and then I'm going to see how your question can relate to what I just pulled in. So firstly, I want to say that if you are holding anything in, if there's something you're not saying, something you're not telling anyone, this could be a big reason why you either are or in the next couple of weeks will be losing sleep, just feeling overall not like yourself. The reason for this could be you are not facing up to something. It's like you're trying to keep something from yourself. You're trying to keep some knowledge from yourself. So again, I'll go back to like an abusive relationship, and I'm not saying that's what it is, just an example. Like you don't want to accept the fact that so-and-so is never going to change. They're a garbage person. You were hoodwinked, you were bamboozled, and you need to get the F out of there and restart and start over again. There's something here that, like, if you face up to it, you're going to end up making yourself even more sick. With that being said, if you're like, Gems, I have no idea what the F word you are talking about, girl, you are crazy, then we're going to put it this way. Somebody is definitely keeping something from you. But here's the good thing. Thank you, Miss Smoochie. Here's the good thing. If it's somebody keeping something from you, you already know. Deep down inside, there's been something that's either been bothering you on a constant basis, or like every time you run into this person, you like think, so for example, you have a feeling that your significant other is cheating on you, but like you can't prove it with like tangible facts and evidence, but like you just know deep down inside, like something is going on here. And like this would be the next 2 to 4 weeks would be like when it's revealed to you. Somebody's secret is coming out, but it's not going to be a big secret to you. It's just going to be like, oh, I knew that. I should have said it. I should have acted on it. I knew it. This is the universe showing you how to like trust your intuition, trust your instinct. As far as strength and energy, I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that you're talking about physical strength and physical energy. And honestly, yes, I do see it returning to you soon. Maybe not in the way of where it once was. I don't know that you'll ever be exactly where you were before whatever happened to make you lose your strength and energy to the degree that you have. Okay, happened. The universe, the question I keep hearing, and this is your team, it's not like how bad do you want it, right? Because that puts the like kind of judgment on you, but it's just kind of like, yeah, but you can't, this is what I'm hearing. Like you can't rush into it, no matter how bad you may want it. And like the universe and your team, your guides, your angels, ancestors, your higher self, like they see that you want this so badly, and that maybe like you're tired of things as they are in that area at least. But you have to go through, like, you can't cut corners. You have to go through the motions. You have to listen to the experts if there are any. You have to follow your instinct and your intuition. And I do feel like that's one of the reasons why this secret is being revealed to you. It's to show you, for once and for all, again, that your instinct and intuition is on point. There's no problem there. Because I'm going to tell you what everyone else in here that's been with me for all these years already knows, if they've been paying attention. And that's that it's not like your instinct and intuition is, yes, it's innate, it's primal, it's part of you. But what it actually is your spirit team, your angels, your ancestors, your guides, your higher self, your deceased loved ones, your soulmates that are still in the fifth dimension that are here to like watch over you. And then y'all will switch once it's your turn is over. Like, that's them pushing this information into your brain, into your being, to give you this instinctual feeling that, something's not right, or I should go right instead of left. And it doesn't come from nowhere. That comes from your own team, which is exactly who I channel when doing this stream. So while yes, it will happen, you definitely need patience, and don't let anyone put it on you like, well, if you can't get your physical strength back up by, December 1st, and you know what? Boy bye, girl bye, they bye, bye bye. Mind over matter. Those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. If somebody's putting some kind of pressure on you over something you really can't control and you can only do so much about, they don't deserve a place in your life, and they're not meant to be there. You got this. You can do it. Just take your time. Literally, slow and steady wins the race here. Of course, I chose like the itchiest wig. All right, who's next?
Okay, Mark is next. And then we'll do Edna, and then I'll sneak in. If she's still here, because she came back in. What a lovely day, 90. If you're still here, you got to let me know. And I'll sneak in after Edna. And then I'll sneak the other new person in here shortly, too.
Adam, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for coming in and being so open and receptive. All right, Mark H., I am using the Shaman Dream. This deck just loves you. I don't know why I'm always drawn to this deck for you lately. So Ray, my husband, he brought me home this food from this Mediterranean place. Oh my God. It was so good. It was so good. Ah, I just was thinking about it because I have more downstairs. Okay, card number 53, Stranger, and it is the card of curiosity. Mark, the other, moving past fear of difference, curiosity, and acceptance. The stranger moves through the world in a shroud of darkness that often elicits fear, rejection, and uncertainty as the danger of the unknown defines its very presence. Yes, there is a veil of separation between you. Look closer and summon the courage to remain open to what you might find. You may be conditioned to look only for what mirrors what is safe and known to you, refusing to entertain any concept of quote unquote other beyond something to fear. In order to broaden your world and your experience of it, you must refute the illusion that sameness is the only way. Nothing you expect externally matches up with the other, and you're challenged by your own inexperience. But don't miss this opportunity for learning. Something extraordinary is being offered to you now if you remain curious and teachable. Allow the newness to envelop you as you explore the possibilities. This is a departure from your expectations, but the stranger has come to invite you to dance to a new music, a new tempo, a new sensation that will add more dimension to you and what you create as a result. Now is the time to leave room for other points of view, other ways of seeing, with humility and grace. This is a defining moment. Mark, take the risk. Life is like a precious diamond with many facets, not just one. Multifaceted, like our beautiful Julie girl. Bella, thank you so much. Yeah, we definitely recognize the new name, and I definitely do appreciate it. I love seeing new names in here. I've been doing this for like 3.5 years, this stream every single week, and it's always nice when new people come in and interact. Okay, so Mark, I feel like in many areas of your life right now, you're at the very least content, right? Even though some things may not have gone as planned and like you're still frustrated in other areas, for the most part, it's like if someone were to genuinely ask you how you were doing and you were to genuinely give an honest answer, you'd be like, I can't complain, right? I think it's interesting here that this card has a jinn on it, or as we call it, a genie, but it's definitely jinn. And you see the lamp and the smoke and the lights. I would say, despite the card itself saying, accept new opportunities and open yourself to a state of awareness of other people and X, Y, and Z, I would say, well, Jules, it was saying it's multifaceted. It has many facets. I would say, yes, that is certainly true for you in the next week or two, but be cautious. Don't just like with open arms start like accepting every opportunity that comes along, because number one, you could end up in a situation you don't want to be in, doing something you don't want to do with people who you really don't want to be around. Be discerning, but yeah, definitely be open, right? Be discerning though about the people you allow into your inner circle. So while you can go and do like something with a group of people that like you really don't know, maybe it's just like I don't know, I'll put it in New Jersey terms, like a bus trip to Atlantic City, right? That's what I used to do. And I used to talk to the people on the bus. But at the end of the day, when I got off that bus, I was no longer interested in hanging out with the people from the bus. I was in Atlantic City to do my own thing. What this is saying is be careful you don't inadvertently, just by keeping an open mind, try. You're so funny. By trying to keep an open mind and trying to expand and broaden your horizons, that you don't inadvertently get sucked into something that's just, I mean, I don't know how to say it, but not good for you. And I am getting a very powerful sense that this is something like a mindset. So what I keep seeing, what they're showing me is cults. And I'm not saying that you're going to be like, have the opportunity to join a cult. That's not what I'm not, it's not specific, right? But it is like someone trying to influence you. So like you accept one opportunity to go and help someone do something for like charity, say, but then you get sucked into a group of like 5 of those people and you go out and have dinner with them and everything's going great until you realize like they're part of this other group. You know what I mean? It's like by being open-minded, you're now in a cult, is basically what they're showing me. Obviously not literally. That's the word I was looking for. Keep an open mind, but definitely pay attention to your instinct when it comes to people, because I do see someone coming in here offering something that seems too good to be true. But because you are so open right now and you are so curious and like willing to learn and expand, and it could end up being a very dangerous situation for you, particularly being an empath, because I do see energetic feeding going on. Like these people are very low vibrational. They're not good. And you're just like drawn to them like a moth to a flame. Or actually they're drawn to you like moths to a flame because of your empathic light. So keep an open mind, but only do what feels right. And Mark, do not under any circumstances be afraid to say, I changed my mind. I actually, you know what? I don't want to do that. You know, as long as you're being truthful and honest, there's really nothing anyone can say and like it'll stick. I don't know, Ananda, maybe. Now bow to me. No, I'm just kidding. If we are, I don't think we're doing it right.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Next is Edna. Then, well, what a lovely day. If you're still here, you need to let me know so she can do you. She's got to know you're here before she does you. If you don't say you're here, then I'll move on to the next new person.
Yeah, what a lovely day. Last call, please. And then I'm going to use Deep, Dark, and Dangerous, the Blue Crossroads deck. These long nails, I'm telling you. I only wore them because they're Halloween-y, but they are getting in my way. It's like that movie, the Teal. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like they were doing this investigation into Teal Swan to see if she was a cult, like her thing was a cult, and they hired a private investigator to look into whether or not she was a cult, and the private investigator decided she was one, and like she went out and spent all this money on like proving she wasn't a cult. And at the end of the day, she told the lady, she's like, just keep the documents. I don't want to know what you found out, because she knew. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm feeling very queenly. All right, Miss Anna, what do we got? The Selkie, the card of freedom. As if I'm any kind of surprised that this card pops up, because it pops up every flipping week. Not that it's a bad thing. It's actually a really good card. Yep, here we go. Oh. All right. I literally just drooled on myself. Yeah, Miss Pixie, thank you. I do appreciate that. Please remember that while it's not required, any donations are greatly appreciated and will help with Gemma's trip to Power Unity in November, which, by the way, guys, I would be leaving on the 1st. So, and that's something we're going to talk about a little bit towards the end, why things are going to be changing in this stream, but on my channel particularly. But it's not anything major or big or anything I could imagine like making you guys not want to come around. So Bella Isabella, you know, I can see why. Like I relate to a lot of the things she says. But the line for me, I kind of drew when she told people that taking your own life is just a reset button, you know, because we're all reincarnated. And I thought that was kind of dangerous. I don't know. I'm not a fan of hers, but a lot of the people that come into my streams are fans of hers. And I respect any and all opinions here. I think that's why this chat is as great as it is, because you know what I mean? We all have differing opinions about so many different things. That we all get along really, really well. So if her content works for you, then I think that's amazing, because she does have a lot of really helpful content out there that has, saved people's lives. Yeah, see? Yeah, that's what I mean. Jules, it's in New Jersey. It's in Woodbridge. I think it's in the same place every year now for like 10 years, because the guy that runs it is local. All right. Aunt Edna, you can only pretend for so long before you must find truth again. Seek authenticity. Containing yourself in a form that is not your own is rarely successful long term. Find what sets you free. Acknowledge your inner truth. Be aware someone may be deceiving you under false pretenses. Selkie mythos is shared in the places where the sea is a truly dominant force and where colonies of seals live, like the Shetlands and other Scottish islands and the Faroes, Norway, and Iceland. I have personally read and listened to a lot of stories about Selkie since I have a kin bloodline that is Selkie central. The mythos of the Selkie was something I dreamed about since I was small, and there are many versions of the Selkie mythos, but most involve beautiful, haunting imagery of female shapeshifters, women who live in the body of seals, but who can transform into enchanting women who appear human on land. A typical Selkie story is of a human man who watches a Selkie playing in a cove. She, at times, "Hey, local squatch," he observes, comes ashore for various reasons, dropping her skin and shapeshifting into a woman irresistible to him. When her land business is complete, she steps back into her seal skin and returns to the wild ocean that is her home. The human man falls in love with the Selkie woman and decides to wait for her to next transform from her seal form, and when she does, to take possession of and hide the seal skin. If a Selkie seal skin is withheld, they cannot return to the ocean. Mermaids are real. I talked about them in my first book. Unable to find their sealskin, Selkies are adrift in the human world. They become reliant on the kind human man who takes care of them and who begins to teach them the human way of things on land. Often, the Selkie and the human man marry and even have children, but the wild heart of the woman is, of course, wedded truly to her life in the sea. She wants to go home. She yearns for her true self. Bella is the Bella girl. Where you been? Yes, I have 10 or 11 out right now, and I could list them all, but if you go to Amazon and just write Gemma Jade books, my whole collection's there. I read a lot of paranormal nonfiction. Yeah, you should check them out. Seriously, you can get them on Kindle, you can get them Audible. They're not expensive at all. And eventually the Selkie finds her skin and is reunited with her authentic form. Without a backward glance, she steps into it, allows herself to be enveloped by her true shape once again, and re-enters the aquatic world. Some stories tell of Selkies coming back every now and again to visit their children. Some say they never ever returned to the world of men who contained them under false pretenses. And yes, there were male Selkies reportedly too, incredibly beautiful in form and very seductive. It was said that these Selkies looked for lonely human women to fornicate with. I love that word. It sounds so professional. Nothing but real experiences and real, like I did a book on, I'm sorry, Aunt Edna. It's just Bella Isabella's new. I did a book about how fairies could be responsible for a part of the missing phenomenon, the missing 411 stuff. I did Encounters with Evil, 101 True and Terrifying Stories, which is all different encounters, personal, famous, and then all the other ones I found in between. Shadow Entities, Sleep Paralysis and Beyond. Danger at Your Door, Encounters with Black-Eyed Kids, Midnight Visitors, More Encounters with Black-Eyed Kids, Campfire Stories, Volumes 1, 2, and 3, which was y'all stories, listener encounters that people on the internet sent to me, and then Gone, Mysterious Disappearances 1, 2, and 3, where I take really strange and bizarre, like blink and they're gone, basically in the woods disappearances, and but I do what nobody else is doing, and at the end of each story, I don't just give the facts, I give my opinion as a medium and a psychic knower and a seer, what I believe actually happened to them, whether it's UFOs, fairies, spirits, demons, etc. Thank you, Miss Pixie. Rarely was there a story where a male Selkie was parted from a skin like the females, so male Selkies seem to have avoided the trap of being made into someone's unwilling husband or lover for a time. Again, it seems human women and Selkie females get that raw deal. The essence of the Selkies is the idea of the triumph of authenticity over pretense and containment. Also, the deep pull of the wild self. After all, if the Selkies got their true skins back, they did not hesitate to leave the human world behind, and that included even leaving their own children. So your plant companion, I love this word too, bladderwreck, and your crystal companion is opal. So I have my sweatshirt right there. I'm just going to grab it. All right. Yeah, Edna. This is definitely interesting because this card to me, a lot of the time, will symbolize someone being basically pulled in. So again, like I talked about with Mark, this idea of, yeah, and that definitely makes total sense, actually. Like somebody being pulled in by something, like I was saying to Mark, like a get rich quick scheme, but and this is not just because I love you and I do feel like you're an aunt of mine or aunt, but I just don't see you getting pulled into something like that, like manipulated that quickly or easily. What I do see happening in the next couple of weeks, if it's not already like starting, is somebody planting a seed of manipulation. I told you guys way back when in my addiction, I was a master manipulator. I was a horrible person. I definitely was not vibrating very high. And I know a lot of the tricks of the trade. And what they're showing me here for you, Aunt Edna, is somebody just planting a seed because they plan on either like bumping into you accidentally or like the next time they see you, they'll like water it a little bit, then water it. And then eventually they've got you pulled in and invested in their story or whatever it is they're trying to sell you, right? So for example, saying that they're not feeling well, and then you see them in 2 weeks and they say something like, I don't know, this is just getting so much worse. And then because 2 months down the line, what they're actually going to do is tell you they don't have money for a doctor and they're desperate. They think it might be cancer. Like they have this whole thing planned. Like somebody is like trying to long con you by playing on your emotions. And while I don't know that they'll be successful, right? I worry because I do feel like because this person has drawn you in emotionally, Bella, it might be harder for you to see. I also feel like this could either be someone you already trust that you're not expecting, or someone that someone you trusts, right? So they're like, oh, this is my sister so-and-so, you know, she's just like me, and this is your best friend. Like, there's just something off here of something that is blinding you to what this person is trying to do. I feel like deep down at the end of the day, you'll stop it in its tracks before it, you end up investing too much. And I'm not talking really about finances. I'm talking about emotionally, maybe financially, before you invest too much of anything into this. But I do feel like somebody has you in their sights for a long con. And this is just so weird. Like this emotional blackmail of like, that's what I'm seeing. And they're trying to like I don't know if this is what they're trying to do, but what ends up happening is like slowly over time, you're just sucked dry of your energy. Yeah. And then Edna, I know it is because I've been reading for you pretty much every week for 3.5 to 4 years now. And I know that, but there's something here that's sneaking in. What it could be is just you thinking, overthinking about like, I should have handled that differently in that situation. I wish I would have helped that person more. And then like, because of that, your guard might be just a little bit lowered in certain situations. It's very strange. I don't know what it is. I wish I had more answers for you, but I'm pretty sure, again, you're going to recognize this for what it is. And one last thing that it could be, if you'll let me just fix my hair here. I'm wondering why it's pulling. It's because it's stuck under my coat, my sweater. So one other thing this could be, and this actually makes a lot more sense, is you are trying to tell someone else, you're trying to warn someone else that this is happening. You're like, nope, that person is definitely lying. How could you not see that they're scamming you? And you could end up losing a relationship, at least for a little, a small amount of time with this person because they're being pulled in a direction you just aren't willing to go in. And this actually makes a lot more sense. You can see right through this person, but someone you love and care about greatly cannot. And unfortunately, they're not going to take your advice. Yeah. Because I'm thinking, and like I'm telling them, like, that's not possible, because, and it's not that it's not impossible that you'll be manipulated, but in this way, I just don't see it happening after everything you've been through and everything we've discussed, particularly recently. So I asked them, I'm like, can you give me like a little bit more, because it's not making sense? And that's what they said. They're like, due to extreme manipulation and a long con, you could potentially be losing someone you're very close with. It's not a permanent break. They will eventually come back and need you when they realize what's happening. Oh, okay. And I'll definitely pray for her. Sometimes there's nothing we can do except lay it all out. And if someone doesn't accept what we're laying out, what can we do? My oldest is going to be 25 on the 28th. And as y'all know, my son Damien just turned 20. Logan in between just turned 23 in April. And then I have a little 6-year-old RJ. But I know with my oldest, especially, sometimes I see him going to make these mistakes. And I'm like, how do you not understand that this person is telling you a bold-faced lie? He'll message me like, oh, Mom, I just, tried to do so-and-so a deal. Like, he loves rare reptiles, like rare lizards and frogs and turtles and all that stuff. And he's like giving, one time he gave a couple $100 to some guy who showed him a couple pictures of this rare albino something or other that he wanted. I'm like, baby, I'll give you, because at the time I was contracted. I said, baby, I'll give you the money. Don't worry about it. He's like, no, I got it, Mom. He pays it, and then the guy just goes dark. And like the whole time I'm going, don't give him your money. We'll go get you one from like the store. Like we'll find a breeder. Don't give your money to someone over Cash App. That's the type of situation I'm seeing here. And all I could do was, when he was ready to admit what he'd done, was make it better as best I can. I refunded his money and we reported the scam artist. All right. Who's next?
Can you show Mark his card? It was right before Edna.
Yes, Mark, it was a little bit of a longer reading, because just like with Aunt Edna's, I was seeing one thing and then they gave me some more information, so I moved it that way. It was just the previous. Live and learn. Yes, Miss Bella Isabella. I love that name, by the way. I have a niece named Isabella.
Okay, next is her. So go ahead and do her, since What a Lovely Day is not answering again. So
okay, I'm going to do the Vampire Oracle for you, Miss Isabella, if you don't mind that I call you that. Yeah, Baby UFO, I don't know if you saw, I thought it was so funny. I was literally laughing so hard I cried when somebody put this meme, and it's like, hi, I'm Michael Jackson. I'm not really dead. I need $600 to come back to the United States and put on a concert. Yeah, absolutely, because I'm going to chit chat anyway. So go ahead, Miss Bella. And then after it sent the first message, the second message was, hee hee. Yeah, I don't know why it's so funny to me, but the person's like, couldn't have done it without, that vinyl hee hee. And then the other one was like, this is your grandma. I need money. I'm stuck in Paris or whatever. And the person lived in the United States. And the person's like, Grandma, you died 6 years ago. They knew it was a scam. How can you possibly be stuck in Paris? Can't you just come here if you're a spirit? Send me proof that it's you. They sent a picture of like a 14-year-old girl standing in front of a superimposed Eiffel Tower behind her. I can't. Mm-mm. My 6-year-old says that when we play like card, whatever we play, card dealership or whatever, I play with him. Even like grocery store, he's like, cash only. His dad taught him that, because my husband doesn't take anything but cash. Once a year, he might ask me if a customer can send him payment through like my Cash App or my PayPal, but it always ends up being a hassle, right? Because I think they know that he doesn't have PayPal or Cash App. So they think he's just going to be like, oh no, pay me, whatever, like next week. And when he says he does and they don't have the money, they always end up screwing it up. And then finally I was like, listen, I don't want to get blamed for these mess ups, So Miss Bella wants to know, what does my team want to let me know or do right now? I want to move out and find new jobs and possibly live abroad at some point. Also, just anything they want to tell me when it comes to relationships. Yeah, that would be a general, but I will specifically see if I can get answers on those things. I give as in-depth as I possibly can. I like to talk. During the week, I'm by myself a lot or with my 6-year-old. I usually don't leave my house. I don't have many in real life friends. So when Friday nights get here, the gemstones in the stream, they know like Gemma's going to talk. Probably, if I'm here for 3 hours, an hour and a half of it is just me rambling on. So I do try to give as in-depth of readings as I can. The best thing to do is to get here like the earlier the better, because towards the end I do start to get really energetically drained and the readings do tend to get shorter. All right, guys, just another reminder, don't forget, if you can, donate to PayPal or Cash App. Super chats and super stickers, I appreciate those too. YouTube takes half, but every little bit helps, so I'm definitely not complaining. Yeah, Blue Crossroads, I'm sure there are people who did. Thank you. Local Squatch says, personally, you've always given me a good reading the few times that you gave me one. They always have pertained to what's going on in my life. Cool. Yeah, because it's your team. It's not, I'm just the messenger, Okay. So Bella Isabella, you got card number 40, the card of natural, authentic, real, and organic. Ooh, ouch. Miss Bella, where are you from? That's weird, baby UFO. Never heard of that one. Israel, cool. Okay, to be your own true self is a lifetimes long purpose. It is the only purpose of this existence, and for each of us, despite the labels we all have, human, vampire, woman, man, we have something greater at play, how the essence, that very drop of pure self, makes itself known through us. And for this great miracle to take place, there are habits to be shed, reactions to be questioned, challenges to be met, and experiments to be made. Ghost, did you just text me? Okay. For you are not who you have been told you are. And so with this card, we ask for you to clearly and finally perhaps understand and acknowledge that all you are can be discovered when you take yourself within and quietly feel, look, and listen to your own self. Not the self on the label, the job, not the defenses you have developed for protection, not the protests of ego or the demands of family voices within. It is who you truly are, Bella. And then, once having found a sense of that, to live from that place in small, consistent ways each day. How that manifests will be unique for each of you, but we ask for you now to go beyond the labels of time and place and family and education and status and go deep, deep within. There is something within you that is more than the history of others. That's yours alone, and the world needs it to be expressed. Otherwise, why would you have been created? For each of us, every drop of rain, every stone, every creature of the sky and of the land has their role and their part to play. We need to become our natural self again, beyond what we are told we are, and to live from that place. And this will create a satisfying and more peaceful, harmonious life, no matter what challenges you meet from within or without. You are precious to the world, especially when you find that part of you that is only yours to offer and add it to the song of the world and make all that is more beautiful, more fulfilled, and more totally realized as a consequence of your soul's truest expression. The blessing, when you take away the trappings of money, power, status in the world, you are left with the things of the spirit, and you are rich in the ways of the soul indeed. This creates a balanced, centered, strong core. Curse, too much reliance on the feedback of society. Self-worth is centered in status, and therefore it constantly shifts. It's uncentered. There has been an over-reliance on ways of identifying who you are, whether you have categorized yourself by a job or your appearance, personality, or wealth and background. It's time to go beyond this to who you truly are and know yourself from the inside out. This doesn't require puzzlement and complexity. It requires quiet distillment and true reflection and contemplation on the self. You have too many definitions others have given you. Let them go and learn the song within you and give voice to that in order to become natural and truly fulfilled as your own self. That is actually really cool because it pertains exactly to what you were just asking me. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. That was my friend. One of my like 2 real life friends. She's picking me up tomorrow. I'm going to help her with a trunk or treat. Okay. Bella, this is great news. What this card is saying is all the questions you asked. What does my team want to let me know or do right now? I want to move out, find new jobs, possibly live abroad at some point. Also, just anything they want to tell me when it comes to relationships. So let's start with the first thing. What is it, if you were to really, and you don't have to answer me in chat, these are things for you to think about as you go forward in the next few weeks, okay? If you didn't know what, like, for example, your parents wanted you to do, if you didn't remember what you wanted to do when you were 6, and if your friends had no influence on you at all, like if you were being truly honest and you had no fear of judgment, you had no fear of, scratch that. Let me put it very simply. If you could be anything you want it to be right now, no consequences, no judgment, no work toward it, no effort put in at all. If you could just say, for example, for me, I am famous. Everybody knows who I am and I love it. And that would make me so, I would do it. What would you be? Just a title. What would you do for work, right? And then you have to ask yourself, why are you not actively working towards being that? What is it that's stopping you? When you only look within all of the time, it's very selfish to do that, right? But there are times in our lives, right before we go through a spiritual awakening, when we have to do almost nothing but look inside of us because you are wanting to make major changes. You want your life to happen and you want to live it authentically and well. And I love that. I love that that's your question, right? That those are your questions. Because it means you really want to live your life the right way. You want to do things how you want to do them. And you're probably going to make mistakes along the way. But here's the sticking point for your team. I'm seeing that you have a habit, possibly, or it's coming in the next few weeks where you're going to start doing this, where like you're allowing others to kind of plant these seeds for you. So for example, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to leave Israel and I'm going to travel to America and go to Hollywood and I'm going to become famous, right? Just say that's your dream, not mine. And you have a friend that's like, oh, you can't go there, their economy is crazy right now, or oh, you can't go there, you'll be unalived. Or you have people that are making you fearful of the things you want or judging you in some way. And while it's okay to take friends' opinions and suggestions and feelings into consideration and account when you're making decisions, honey, I feel like you have or are about to start, and I hope you don't, putting way too much emphasis on what they are saying and not what you are wanting from your life. You are allowing too much influence over you, too much power to be had over your decision making. Your team wants you to understand that if you just start taking small steps towards any one goal or many goals, you can't go wrong. You will get there. You are definitely strong enough. Spiritually, you're coming into awakening, I would say, in the next 3 to 4 months, as long as things stay how they are. And you may feel stuck and stagnant, but you're not, because your mind is turning. You're wondering these things. You're asking the right questions. The only way to get to where you want to be is to start getting there, right? To start taking action. Make goals for yourself. Write down a list of what you want to have done towards a specific single goal in 30 days. and make sure you hit that goal. And if you don't, give yourself an extra week or whatever, 3 months, 6 months, long term, a year, where do you see yourself? Because the biggest thing I've learned in my life is nothing changes if nothing changes. You literally have to change something, otherwise nothing. I don't know how else to say that. I mean, it's so obvious to me because I've lived it, where every day was the exact same horrible Groundhog Day of a life. Bella, you have a lot of opportunity in front of you if you would start taking the steps. So if you take 5 steps forward towards a goal or achievement or whatever you want to do, the universe will meet you and take 10. You are primed and ready and in the perfect position to start working on something really huge for yourself. I don't see anything as far as romantic relationships right now, as in like the next month or two, but I can't see that long term with one card. I would tell you, like, focus on having fun. You have a very young energy. I don't know how old you are, but you have a young energy. Most of us in here do. I was shocked to find out the ages of some of my gemstones, thinking they're like 19-year-olds. I don't want to sound cliche saying you could literally do whatever you want, but for the most part, that is true for you right now. You have a clean slate, you have a blank slate, and you don't have a lot of energetic baggage. Either you were raised well or you just were born spiritually strong and abundant. You don't have a lot of energetic baggage that you have to kind of overcome. Not that you don't have any, but you don't really have much. You have the ability to move forward and move on and keep moving in that direction, as long as I see one little kind of kryptonite that could get in your way, and that is love, not love, what's being presented to you as love. And then this person just completely takes control, and there go your hopes and dreams down the pooper until, you know, however many years down the line. So as of right now, I want you to write down, even if it's, you know, just one thing, keep it simple. Where do you see yourself in 3 months? Or where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in 6 months, 9 months, and then just start moving toward it. What I'm seeing is opportunity. I don't know exactly what this is. So I see, like, I'll use my thing for an example. I see like you finally decide and you are ready to move to America and go to Hollywood and become famous. I see the universe gifting you with an opportunity to like read for a major movie. Somehow it falls into your lap a week after you would get here. Like I see something very fortuitous coming in as soon as the universe sees you taking these necessary steps and not getting distracted and not letting what other people tell you or say to you or think about it pull you off course. You have got this. You have got this. You have really big energy and you are really abundant right now. I would take advantage of this energy until at the very least the beginning of the new year. I don't see that far with you because I'm not that connected with you. I just met you. Oh no, it's just an example. I was saying like my life, that's like my big dream, right? So I was just using that as an example. Whatever your big dream is, whatever your biggest goal is, if you just start looking inside yourself, figuring out what you need to do to get there, the universe will work with you and opportunities will just start coming out of the clear blue sky for you. And that does not always happen. A lot of the time we can do so many different things to try to bring opportunity in and it never comes. So you're in a very abundant spot right now. No, yeah, that was just an example. That's okay, Mark. No, I get it. And I just feel like somebody's trying to like suck you into some, and for some reason, Mark, it's like ideology. I don't know what that is. Just be careful. Like, I don't want to say it, but I feel like in my opinion, there's a lot of indoctrination going around and I wouldn't want you to become a part of that. Bella, simplest terms, you are very abundant right now and the opportunity to make great, amazing changes in your life, it's right around the corner, but you have to take the first few steps. Good night, Ralph. Thank you for coming in. Who's next?
Blue.
Blue. Yes, Miss Bella, the warnings that I listed were allowing other people to become too involved. Okay. It's okay to ask for advice. It's okay to appreciate other people's advice, but to take advice just because like you don't want to offend someone, right? In that example of like you want to move to America and become famous, say like your parents are really adamantly against it. That would be you allowing their opinions about what you're going to do stop you from pursuing this dream or goal. That's where you're going to run into problems, by allowing other people to dictate what you should and shouldn't be doing, wanting, thinking, and feeling. You cannot do that. As far as love, again, I don't see anything in the next couple of months. I would be very, very careful of like an older partner. I don't know if you're attracted to males or females. It doesn't matter to me, but an older person coming in, manipulating, controlling you, and eventually pulling you into something toxic. Just steer clear of, if you feel in your gut that it's wrong, it is. All right, Blue. Let's use energy and spirit. Yeah, I don't want to talk about anything political because I got to be honest, there's a short I'm about to film that I think it's going to piss a lot of people off, and politics is not a good thing to discuss in here. I don't want to lose anyone. Eris! Hello. Hi, El. Hello. Yeah, local, nothing against you. It just makes me uncomfortable because I'm not a channel that's like signed up for that. They will like demonetize, and then you get the kooks that like just are like scrolling by and see the chat and they're like, "Oh, I can go in there." Like, I just don't want to. I think I am so politically different than a lot of the people in here that I wouldn't want to cause any kind of divide between us. But I do appreciate your opinion. Yeah, Bella, go back and listen. And any other readings that I do here tonight that you listen to, or like if you come back and listen to the stream, just because it's not your reading, if it resonates with you, if you feel like, ooh, that makes sense to me, take that message on as well. That's why, like, I might have 20 people in here all night, but within 5 minutes of turning this stream off, I've got 150 views. Most people just listen and take what resonates. Yeah, Blue Crossroads. I wish I had lived by then. You know what I wish? If I could change one thing, honestly, I just feel like I wish that I would have followed my instincts more. Or listened to my intuition. Do you know what I mean? All right. Card number 6, up from the depths. I don't know how to pronounce that. Depths. I used to have a terrible lisp, guys. And like when I have to say words like that, Local Squatch, you're welcome to remain in here. Definitely no animosity or anything. We absolutely love you. I just don't want to talk about that kind of stuff because it is divisive, and I want to bring you folks together. So up from the depth, releasing difficulty. But you got it in the reverse. Yeah. No, I was trying to give an example, and then there was another example, and then I was like, no, forget about all that. Let's use this as an example. Just go back and listen to it because it is a really great reading. It's very high vibrational. You have like an open slate, and I haven't seen that in a really long time, which made it very interesting. It's not that there's no baggage, but there's not a lot. You've either worked through, knowingly or not, a lot of your trauma. So you kind of have like this open road ahead of you of like, you can do whatever you want. You're good. Trust me. See, that's why I made the distinction. Instinct, I've almost always followed. Intuition, not so much. Good. I'm glad. And you can ask people in here. I don't always give these happy-go-lucky, smiley readings. I will tell you bad news if I have to, and I always try to pair it with something good. No more leeway. Follow the rules so Gemma doesn't get demonetized or I remove your comments. Eris is a stickler, but you know what? I let Eris be a stickler because I appreciate it. And those of you that know Eris, I love that. Empowering. I love that. Bella, thank you for coming in. Feel free to hang out and keep listening or come in next week. All right, Blue. 26. Wow, to be 26 again. I'll be 42 March 1st, guys. Bella, you're 1 year older than my son, my oldest son. All right, Blue, this card reversed brings a warning that a difficult passage may be on the horizon, or it may have already begun. Are you giving your power away to others? If so, it's time to muster up the courage to speak out and take action on your own behalf. Your birthday's tomorrow. Blue Crossroads' birthday is tomorrow. I'm sorry, I gotta blow my nose, guys. Jules, chat rules. And again, it's an inside thing with me and Eris. We should have said that from the beginning, but it is true. But I was joking with Eris the other day, and I was like, I miss you in the comments because we've had some trolling going on. And we were talking about that and kind of joking about it. Okay. You may be heading in an unwanted direction personally. Are you engaging in patterns of isolation or overindulgence? Even if you've been submerged in emotional darkness or fear, it's not too late to take control and reverse your direction. Blue, consider all your options. She said, we don't need no thinking rules. And remember your soul's power. You have the ability to choose your own direction now. You may want to seek professional help, but you don't have to live this way anymore. You're not alone. Your spirit guides are willing to bring their love, healing, and wisdom to your every step, your every choice, to every single experience. I determine the direction of my life. I have the power to resolve any problem and live in my true strength and joy. I feel like there's something you're fed up with here. Oh, and I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. I really don't. Blue, I just feel like it's not like this crazy like rage against someone because I'm so mad and fed up with them, but I'm just getting this frustration of like, I don't even think it's frustration for you. I feel like it's frustration for the other person. Like you are not a person who's used to feeling helpless. You are not a person who's used to feeling like there's nothing you can do but sit and wait for, the situation to play out. And I feel like therein lies your frustration. And the universe, oh, I know that, Jules. I feel like there's this part of you that really needs to genuinely accept that like all the time. But I do feel like it's going to be a constant back and forth with you for a while. Just accepting this complete and total lack of control. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can, you can do things to make the situation better and brighter. But I just feel like you have this whole thing in your head. You're probably like rehearsing of like, I should just go and do this. But you know that like you actually like in actuality, not that you physically can't, but it would be a poop show if you were to, right? So I feel like you're respecting someone else's privacy or autonomy. There's something here where you're like, I really would, but I've got to respect this. I've got to let this play out. And this is the universe saying, just release it. Release it. Every time this frustration comes up, think about, what you can control and what you can do something about. I also see, again, I don't know if this person definitely is from your past. I know, Blue. I know. So this person's definitely from your past, but they may have already come back in. It could be the same situation, but I'm seeing a different situation where, again, this person is like carrot on a sticking you. Like, oh, this isn't working out, so I'm going to go and call Blue. Blue will be there. I know who this person is, and you probably know too. So that person could be coming back around or like making themselves extra known to you in the next few weeks, particularly with your birthday. That could be like a manipulation tool where it's like, oh, I'm going to come and pretend like I'm making this big deal about his birthday. Not that they don't care, but they definitely want something in return for it. So yeah, just I think this is like keeping control of your emotions and relinquishing that need to put on your cape and step in, you know, and just understanding that there is a reason for the suffering of everyone, no matter what it is. And I know that's a huge thing to say when you really think about it, but everyone suffers, and everyone suffers for a reason that they have to suffer for. So I feel like, yeah, the person with the C, yes. I feel like you're going to be fine. You get through this. It's just something you keep falling into, though, this like really, and the universe is like, why do you got to keep falling backwards into this? Like, no judgment, no indictment, but you're doing so well. You're doing so great. You're moving forward. You're, you know, try to really put yourself in that mind space of what'll be will be. And don't let this feeling of being out of control dictate how you react to this manipulative person. I don't like her. I'm sorry, but I don't. As your friend, as someone who reads Oracle for you, I question her motives. And I feel like you do too, but you have a soft spot for her. So, you know, whatever you're going to do, but just know that she is not fully done with her other situation. And it's, you know, you could end up getting really hurt in the process of that. I need to get you one of these rings that I got from an anonymous source. It says, keep effing going. I have to send a whole bunch of you guys these rings. All right. Yeah, I think we all do. I think as empaths and as light workers, of course we want to step in and we want to just swoop in and be the hero in someone's story, you know, especially when we see someone we really care about or we're really connected to suffering. A lot of the times that person wants that too. But if there's something that needs to play out, then it needs to play out. Halil said something. Oh, Divine. Okay, sweetie. Love you. The new person, they were here last week, but I can't find what they said. They were talking about instinct and intuition. Here it is. In a way, I understand instinct. Thank you. As intuition, we have perfected to an instinctual level. There's a reason instinct is natural. Your soul has honed some skills to the instinct level. Yes. And that is a great way to put it. What I meant was like my instinct, following my instinct, like knowing, you know, don't go into that area in the middle of the night. It's a bad neighborhood. It's a bad area. I could get hurt, right? The odds are that I'm going to get hurt should I do that. Where my intuition will be like, that is a walking red flag. Don't you dare. And I won't go into that neighborhood at night. Instinctual is like, for me, instinct is more primal and intuition is more spiritual. Instinct is like primal, physical, this innate thing inside of us that we've honed and perfected over time for survival. And intuition is a spiritual gift bestowed upon us by, you know, who or whatever you feel created the world. For me, that's God. It'll be different for everybody. You know what, though, Jules? I feel like no matter how good of a person you are, you're going to be the villain or the a-hole in someone's story anyway, right? Like me, a lot of people are like, oh, you're so sweet. And I'm thinking, yeah, but I can give you a list of like 10 people that will tell you I am the most horrible human being on the planet. They've never met a more evil person. And then I can give you 10 or 15 people that are like, oh my gosh, Gemma, love her. Like she helped me so much. And these people either knew me at different times in my life or they treated me in two different ways, right? So mainly it's the ex-boyfriends or ex-husband, the ex-lovers that will tell you, I'm no good. I'm psycho. I'm crazy. But I think anyone behaves that way when they're cheated on and gaslit and all that, because unfortunately, they're both passed away. But I do have two that I remained very, very close, best friends with, even throughout everything. That's because they treated me with respect and dignity. One of them, not so much, but after a while, we kind of fix that. Everyone's the hero in someone's story and the villain in others. My oldest, my son Logan will tell you, like, I was never there. And he doesn't see me as a mother, and he has no reason to see me as a mother. And, he could care less if I, jump off the Brooklyn Bridge and don't make it. Whereas if you ask my other kids, they're like, mom's the best. She's amazing. Even my oldest, who they lived together their whole lives and had the same experience of me. The difference is my oldest gave me a chance to make things right, and my second oldest did not, right? All right, Ghost, who's next?
New England. I didn't know if you wanted a card or not. He never said. So.
We're going to give him one. Well, he's been getting personals, but I still would like to read for him. He didn't say not to. I know. And I could already hear you in my head. You don't have to say it. Hi, Elle, of course. I know. I can hear you. Like, what are you doing vaping and puffing on that thing? Put the vape down. Drink more water. I hear you. I know. You're not wrong. Can't argue with you. But I love that. I love being cared for. So it's never a burden to me. When you guys give me advice or jokingly lecture me, it feels good. I didn't have that for a lot of my life. I kind of ran wild for a long time, with nobody to be like, hey, are you like, good? Maybe you shouldn't do that, All right, Netter, I am using Oracle of the Radiant Sun, which actually was a gift from Miss Anna. My vape keeps me calm and relaxed. I feel like I gave up so much as far as substance wise that, like, my vape, I don't want to give it up. But at the same time, I do realize I'm using my puffer a lot more. And I have a 6-year-old and I want to see I want to hold my grandbabies one day. So I am considering switching to the organic ones, but they're a little expensive. So once I start making a better income, I'm going to go back to the collagen peptides. And I had to cancel all that. My vitamins, my collagen peptides, the all natural vapes, all that stuff had to go. I almost couldn't afford my waters this month, just flavored water. All right, Netter, you got eccentricity. This is definitely your card. It's important to take care of ourselves. It's also important to have compassion for the parts of us that still cling to stuff because it's just where we are. That is so well said. Bella, you miss vaping too? They have the Pure, and it was so funny because, so these are super duper cheap. They're just plain nicotine. This piece is 99 cents. These are 2 for $10, okay? And they're pretty big. They last me a couple days. But the organic ones, they said, we're going to send you a month supply of Pure vape for $30. So I'm thinking a month supply. It was one vape. I was done with it in 2 days. All right, Netter. Netter, are you still here? Yeah, one. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was like, even for me, like, I know I vape a lot, particularly when I'm working, like writing, I'm just vape. But there's no way. And it's not like it was a gigantic one. It was very, very thin. It was measly. I couldn't believe it. Then I got the Skinny Fit collagen peptides. They helped me so much because my medication, I take one medicine, Suboxone. It does hell on my stomach and my teeth. So the Skinny Fit collagen, they were giving away a big bag, a month's worth of the collagen powder for, I think it was like just shipping, which was like $9. I was like, yeah, I'll try it. Cool. But then I couldn't get the next month's because it's $48 a month, and I can't afford that right now. And then I got the Skald, SKALD, the diet pill. They're about to ban it because it's got something in it. That with the collagen peptides, it was working so well. I felt so good in my own skin. I felt so good about myself. But that's $50 a bottle. Vaping is dangerous, but honestly, I don't believe it's any more dangerous than cigarettes. They talk about popcorn lung, but if you really look into what popcorn lung is when you get like bootleg juice from like the bodega and smoke it, like bathtub vape juice. Life with Bobby, I'm getting there. I'm at 2.5% nicotine, down from like 20. So I don't know the exact amount, but like I was very high up. I'm at 2.5 now. All right. New England Dirt Roadie, you got card number 11, which is Saturn in Aquarius, the card of eccentricity. Saturn Aquarians expand their lives through the disciplined and patient application of their inventive minds to any area that is of interest. They are attracted to new ways of thinking or unusual approaches to traditional systems. Whatever they do in this area, they approach in the same broad-minded scientific way as if doing research. Because of this nonconformist attitude, Saturn Aquarians can be labeled as eccentric or oddball, although generally they are level-headed and a fund of good advice for colleagues and friends. There is a danger, however, that the Saturn Aquarian detached view of life can develop into coldness and emotional insensitivity where personal relationships are concerned. People with this planet sign combination may feel that their career can be strongly influenced by knowing important and powerful people. There is also danger that this could become the sole reason for some friendships, earning them a reputation as a social climber. Positively, this can be an aspect of loyalty and long-term associations in which friends help friends. Certainly, many of the relationships of the Saturn Aquarian will be with much older and more experienced people. When this card is selected in a reading, it can indicate that the questioner is either currently going against expected behavior or would change their fortunes by doing so. Now is the time to forget what others will think. Netter, like I'm going to put you a tiny bit on blast. New England Dirt Roadie, where he lives. Okay. He's always like, I need to get back to New England. Like, I don't know why, like, where I live now, and I don't know if he's ever said, so I don't want to put it out. He has a DNA connection, and this is going to sound crazy, but if y'all know me, you know I only speak the truth. I speak facts to an otherworldly entity that's specific, and we're wondering, like, why this part of the country? Why is this part of the country so not simpatico to you just living your life? It is the same area where this otherworldly creature is said to be like raised and bred and summoned, and we don't know the connection. I'm not even sure Netter even believes me when I tell him this. Like, he does sometimes, and other times he's like, I don't believe that. He's got to get out of that area. He will never thrive in that area. And I don't want to put a definite on him. He could, but it'll be very, very, very hard, like it is for him. So New England Dirt Roadie, I feel like this is you just harshly judging yourself like you do, being like, it's got to be something wrong with me. You know, nobody like wants to like talk to me. I can't form these relationships, these bonds. But at the end of the day, your eccentricity is what makes you amazing, and your amazing hair. Because if you guys ever saw New England Dirt Roadie, his hair is luscious. It's not even that long. It's just like the way it sits on top of his head is like perfect. Anyway, love his hair. Not like a bad looking guy, and like super sweet, very smart, right? Very motivated and passionate about certain things, just like so many of us. Like, we all deserve love, but some of us particularly, it's like, this person is a catch, right? But he's not going to thrive where he is because there's so much negativity around where he's at that is ancestrally connected, literally in his DNA. So Netter, if you're listening, this is just another card telling you, like, it is time to move on and move up and move into living real life. And I do feel a lot of the reason you're hesitant, even though you know this is exactly what you should be doing, is because you're being suppressed by these entities. And we can talk more about that personally, of course. Mike J, do you want a card, sweetie?
So you were done?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
No,
if Mike
okay.
doesn't answer right away, go ahead and do Jules.
Gotcha. I love that we match. Twinning.
We've done that a couple times.
I got a card for you today. I ordered a couple weeks ago. I'm going to send out.
Too.
Yeah, I find them on Temu. They have cards on Temu that say the coolest things.
We went to a garage sale, and this guy had a shelf of nothing but dragons and dragon swords. My dad goes, "You're in heaven, aren't you?" And I'm like, "How much cash do we have on us right now?"
Is there an ATM at this garage sale? It's so funny because in Walmart, when I took little guy yesterday, I saw Oogie Boogie Squishmallow and Sally and Jack, and they were $16. And I was like, I can't justify buying these right now, but
I had them all in my hands, and he's like,
wanted them so bad. But I'm like, right after Halloween, if there are any left, they're going to go down to at least like $8 because they're tiny. If they were the big ones, I would have been all over it. I would have at least got Oogie Boogie. I love all of them, but Oogie's my favorite. But I just couldn't justify it, you know? Not like when you're broke and like you really want something, but you're like, I can't possibly justify spending money.
When I sent you that picture, I literally had all three of them in my hand. And Dad was like, Dad goes, "You could have got, I'll pay for them." And I'm like, no, maybe I'll just keep it for myself.
No, they're going to go down. I know they are. I want to show you guys something. It's so cool. I was pissed because I thought that it was something that it wasn't, but I made it work. So check this out. I thought it was a pillow, but it was actually a pillowcase.
Oh. They put the pillowcase on and then said, "Oh, here, look." I like that.
I love it. I love The Nightmare Before Christmas. I always have. I just think it's the cutest little love story.
Ashley's big on that too.
I think a lot of people are. It's become kind of trendy.
You should see. I think she's got a whole setup and everything.
All right, let's do this. But that's why RJ got so excited about Jack Skellington being in Fortnite. The Nightmare Before Christmas is one of 2 of the only full movies he's ever sat and watched. He's never sat and watched a full movie except The Nightmare Before Christmas because he knows it's mommy's favorite.
They'll be there.
Did you grab it? You did. He won't have it until Monday afternoon. No electronics. Baby UFO. Okay, so you get it. And this came after years of me kind of working with him. He's become a close friend now, like Netter, Nutslap, Blue, Ghost, a lot of you. But there's like a handful of you, Tennille, that will always, I think, now be in my life going forward, regardless of like what we do. But it took years of working with him where I didn't discover this until we started becoming like more friends, like just talking about, you know, not spirituality, not the channel, just, hey, what are you doing? How's your weekend? Oh, it's good. What's going on? Like this type of stuff. That finally one day I had a vision while I was on the phone with him and I saw it. And the crazy part is, as I was like verbalizing, he started saying the exact same thing because he had seen it. Like it was so weird. It was one of the weirdest things that's ever happened to me. So Jules, I used your favorite, the Divine Circus. Yes, Blue's birthday is tomorrow. I'm going to put it in the community tab. The Good Geisha, card number 18. Thank you, Eris. Miss Eris. Miss Jules, I am. Starting, I would say November 4th. Because October has been crazy. I've been available. I guess I just forgot to tell you guys. But it's good that I forgot because October has been nuts. back to school, soccer pictures, soccer practice, soccer games, the PTA, the fundraising, 2 trunk or treats, 5 half days, 6 days off. It's been bonkers, and it keeps going until Halloween. So, but yes, miss, I am. Okay. You are clever. You know how to play an impressive game of strategy to win approval and gain allies. Even without always noticing it consciously, you can sense what people want. Sometimes you are so good at showing others what they want to see that you forget how beautiful you are when you are just being you. This is so you, and you have the same birthday as my daughter. I know that. But your time has come, the time to unveil the one true, real you and attract allies who are not interested in what you can do for them, but who love you for who you really are. Jules, you are ready to opt out of a game that most people play unconsciously. It's a game of image and appearance at the expense of the true self. So many people are so used to playing this game, they no longer realize they're doing it. They don't really know who they are, and they're afraid to really find out. They live behind masks that appeal to others, but slowly starve their authentic self, denying it the opportunity to experience being seen and to receive real love. Any promise of success, love, or wealth that begins with you contorting yourself into something you are not is a false promise. It cannot deliver anything worthy of you. You are not one of those fearful souls, but you know what it's like to have been caged in an invisible prison, Jules, a way of thinking and being that's nowhere near anything good for you. In times gone by, your soul has been shackled, your voice has been silenced, your true beauty has been hidden under more appropriate and acceptable guises, your intentions misunderstood, and your words misconstrued. You've been like a beautiful wild creature, captured as though somehow you could be tamed or changed. Fortunately, your sacred rage and divine defiance has rattled the cage of your past, forcing doors to swing open. You can and must continue to set yourself free. Baby UFO, I've got to know, which creature is this? Which entity are you bloodbound to? Jules, be free from expectations, opinions, and projections of others. Be free from the self-image that you convinced yourself you were supposed to be. Be unafraid to discover the depths of your own being coming to life. If you don't, you shall bind yourself to a life far too bland for the color and majesty of your soul. Being what another wants you to be is a false promise of love, and you are destined for love, real, wild, pure, and true. Make sure you start by giving it to yourself. Then you can share it with others and receive it from them too. So, Jules, I was tearing up. And I'm just going to say that I think if I pulled any other card from any other deck, it would not resonate as true as this card for you tonight. And always. It just perfectly describes you. Jules, you have made peace with a lot of your past and a lot of the things. Okay, E.T. That makes a lot of sense, actually. His is werewolf. I need to just take a breath. Yeah, I know that hurts to hear. You've made peace with a lot of your past, and you work through it, and you put the effort and energy every day into trying to be a better person than the people, treat people better than the way you were treated, right? A better person than you were kind of trained to be by the abuse you suffered. You still have a way to go. I feel like this is the universe opening your eyes to maybe some friendships that aren't so good for you. This fear in you of being rejected. And you may not even know it's there, but if you really look inside, I do see it. It's this fear of like, well, I'm going to stick up for myself and I'm going to say what I mean and mean what I say, and I'm going to set and enforce my boundaries. But if I do that with this person, then they're not going to like me anymore. Or if I take this too far with that person, they're not going to want to, they're going to think I'm rude. Stop. Hey, Heather, you are allowed to have the boundaries that you have. You are allowed to accept and not accept what you do and what you don't. And anybody who doesn't like it isn't meant to be in your life. Even if for a few weeks you've got to be alone. If you lose everybody, yes, it'll hurt, it'll suck. But what are you really losing? If these people don't respect you enough to respect you, if all you can do is be there for yourself, be there for you. Don't let yourself down like others have let you down. And here's the thing. I know when I get to that mode, because I have a lot different but similar to a lot of the things you've been through and that you go through, I think to myself, why do I have to love me and like nobody else ever has to, right? Why do I have to give in and silence? Like I get there too, trust me. But then I remember it's because I'm working towards a day when I won't have to. I'm raising my vibration. I'm learning to love me so that when I finally do 100%, I won't have to be in those kinds of situations anymore. You have to put the work in. It's like serving freaking time. This is the universe telling you, girl, you know what you're doing and you know how to play the game. If people are going to manipulate you, this isn't always the right thing, by the way. And I'm very surprised at this answer. You're being told manipulate them back. If they're going to try to get what they can and take from you, take from them. Obviously, I don't mean steal, but I mean energetically. Until you get to a point where you can be okay if there's nobody but you. Because once you get to that place, that's when the real ones will start coming in. No, it's not your fault at all. Miss Bella, good. Take it. Take whatever resonates here that I say. Some people get a little bit from almost every reading. It's perfectly okay and it's normal. This is how I read for myself. I can't pull a card and read for me because it doesn't like compute because I just talk to my team. So through the cards, it doesn't really work. But like I hear things that I'm like, oh yeah, you know, like especially with certain people like Jules, Melissa, Nicole, a lot of the times I resonate with her. Yeah, don't have to abandon yourself because it's very hard to get back. That is so true. See, but you think you're incapable. You're not. You're just not there yet. Maybe you are incapable at this moment, but you're not wholly incapable for all of eternity. You're just learning. And I think this is the universe saying that's okay. It's okay if someone walks away from you. You don't need them anyway. Have people in your life that you want there. Have them be there because you want them there, not because you feel you need them there. Because at the end of the day, you don't. And that is all the universe asks for. To be able to look inward and say, did I do everything I could do in that situation? And if not, to make sure you do better next time. There's no guilt or shame and regret and all this stuff that comes from, you know, I always say the devil, but it just comes from a negative place. And there's no room for that. We are the Island of Misfit Toys. And one day my channel will be big enough that I'll get merch that says that and people will actually buy it. Who's next?
Smoochie.
I want it to end by 10. It doesn't look like that's happening. But how many do we have?
Six in room and two.
Okay. Okay. So guys, I think this is a good time to mention that because of a lot of things that have been going on personally and professionally, I'm really lost regarding my channel. I feel like no matter what I do, aside from this stream, it's just not working, right? I'm working 60 hours a week, all month, every week, and I'm not even making $1 an hour without donations. With donations, I might be making $1 an hour. Like nobody, and I'm going to make this very brief. Don't think I'm going on like a tangent. Nobody buys boxes, nobody buys video chats, nobody buys readings ever since I raised the prices. And I kind of had to because I have to make a living. So long story short, Heather, I got you. No. This is just real quick. I was going to say it in the beginning, but it just popped in my mind now. Next week, I'm trying something new where if you're not a member, it's going to be $2 for a card. And I'm just trying it out. And if it doesn't work and, you know, people really hate it and think it's such a horrible thing, we'll go back to this. But I think a lot of people, not so much the people that are in here every week, but like a lot of the people that come in once and then we don't see them again for a year, they don't understand it's not free. Technically, it's donation. So I'm going to put it out there. And I don't want anyone to be upset or angry. I've got to at least try. And I'm also going to be learning. This is really awesome. I'm going to be learning. Well, it's going to be $5 for a timestamp. I'm going to be learning how to do reactions. And I think the reactions are going to really bring people in and really ramp up what I'm doing. And once I get to a point where I'm making like good money professionally again, I'm going to go back to this being a donation only, because I did want to keep this like my gift to the community for being able to live while doing this. Do you know what I mean? To being able to make a living off of this. Thank you, baby UFO. And this is no shade on anyone. Okay. So I do not want anyone to take this the wrong way. All of you guys have donated at one time or another. And if you haven't, I get it, because I can't donate to YouTubers right now. Like, I can barely buy groceries. I get it. I just have to try. So baby UFO, thank you. And I don't want anyone to take it personally. It's just a trial period. If it works, it works. If it doesn't and it totally sucks and brings everything down, we're going to go back to this. So just give me a chance to try. All right, let's do Smoochie Girl. And yeah, I'm not, like I said, I don't want anyone to think that I'm being like, you know, you don't donate. That is not it. It is more to keep like the new people coming in understanding, to try to get in the habit of like paying by card. And if you're a member, you don't have to, because you're already donating through membership or like Patreon. And I know a lot of you who aren't members or patrons do donate. I'm not saying you don't. It's just something I have to try. So, all right. Thank you, Miss Jules. And you're a member. So you know what I mean? It's just donating in that way. That it's just like something, you know. Actually, so many people do. And that's why, like, if you could see, I'm in a very uncomfortable space right now, because I don't like talking about this. It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me embarrassed and even a little humiliated to talk about like working for free to people who do donate to me. But it's just like, I just need to feel like I'm succeeding in financially caring for myself. So it's a personal thing. I'm trying not to get emotional. Thank you so much, Miss Jules. And clean dog poop. I want to get to a point again where like I'm either contracted or, again, with the reaction videos, something that I'm doing is bringing me in enough, because I only need to make $1,000 a month to be happy and like be able to pay my bills and have extra. That's all I need. I just need to get there. Then this will go back to being a free stream. But for now, I just have to do that. If you're a member, you don't have to worry about it, because you're already donating in that way. Thank you, Jules, everybody, and everybody who always donates and who does what they can. So, all right, let's get moving, because I do want to try to end by 11, but I'm definitely going to fit everyone in that's in here already. Miss Heather, welcome back. I hope you're doing well, by the way. All right, Smoochie. Skull of Stars. These days, I swear, every time I pull out the Halloween Oracle, it's going to be one of 4 cards. And if it's not the, like, Barnbrock, Hearth, Black Cat, Skull of Stars. Sometimes Trick or Treat. Smoochie, the skull brings us back to the fact that we are all made of the stuff of stars, yet many of us think so small. We are each born with a blank canvas to paint upon, and we are indeed an open sky of possibilities. It is easy to feel small in a world that is so busy, impersonal, and seemingly self-absorbed. We can at times feel lost and unclear about our direction and lose sight of our place in the cosmos. The Skull of Stars reminds us that we are only limited by our own imagination and boundaries. If we can dream it, it's possible. This card indicates that you need to think bigger and more broadly about your future and of what you would like to achieve. Perhaps there are false beliefs, often old, that no longer serve you as you grow and change. Sometimes these beliefs may not even be yours. They may have been imparted to you by your parents or the wider community, yet feel rather incongruent to you. You need to endeavor with all of your heart and soul, Smoochie Girl, to live the life you want and honor your own wishes and truth. Yes, we are. Oh my God, Pop fell. Oh my God. Okay. I'll read for Smoochie and then we'll just wait patiently. Shoot. You know, he keeps doing that. All right, Smoochie. I feel like you have a very clear view of like what you want out of life and what you want your life to be, what you wanted your life to be. The problem is, like, what's actually happening is not like meshing with the view of what you want. But I do feel like you're being too heavily influenced by like societal norms. And I know that's crazy to say to you, Miss Anti-Establishment. And I mean that in the most endearing way possible. And it's not offensive, but like you're thinking that you have to do certain things because the situation's a certain way, when really you're a grown adult. You have the power to do what you want, say what you want, think what you want, feel what you want, and to not do, say, think, and feel what you don't want to. It's what's inside of you that matters, right? Well, I didn't know if you were going to take offense to that. When I said you seem anti-establishment, I don't see it as an offensive thing, but I never know. You know, even with you, I just don't know. So I hope you know my heart. But this is reminding you of like, you're here for your soul's journey, Smoochie. And I need this reminder all the time too. Like with this card, like again, I'm getting emotional because we're not here to just miserably go through life waiting for the next thing to happen. We're here to actively live and make the hard decisions. Like this person is treating me like poop. Therefore, I am going to get away from them. If only it were as easy as it is to say it, to actually do it, right? But you're not giving yourself any room for enjoyment. And I know you like to relax with your beers and your whatever else you smoke or whatever you do. Like, that's your business. You're a consenting adult. Doesn't matter to me. But you're not making any time for like connection and bringing in other energy around you. It's like you're just kind of content to be discontent. Aquarius, yeah, but it's more than that. It's like you want so much more than what you have, but you're not putting yourself out there to bring anything in. Netter, I did, and it was actually a very important card. It was talking about your DNA connection to the werewolves and why you're not thriving, and I talked about your awesome hair. So this was your card. So, okay. Smoochy girl, you have to start stepping outside of your comfort zone. You have got to get out there, like put that big smoochy energy out there. This doesn't mean you have to like go to like lavish parties or like go do anything crazy. Go and like take yourself out to dinner or do something you like to do for you. Okay. And then you'll bring energy that's like in and you'll better be able to make decisions. You'll have someone to bounce ideas off of who can give you solid advice, informed advice, so you can make informed decisions. And this isn't saying like it's your fault. What it's saying is like you've been conditioned to think, okay, for example, this person is sick, therefore I have to take their crap, do everything for them, never have time for myself, and everything has to be all about the sick person all the time. And that is just not true. In fact, it's the worst possible thing when you're a caregiver to not indulge in self-care before anything else. I really hope Pop is okay. I don't know who the next person is. Okay, he's in Baby UFO. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. We'll see if Steven, if you're listening, if you want to put the list in stream or in private chat, and then I can just do it, please. I know. I worry that he's going to trip over the dog. That's my, like, when I think of Pop falling, I think of him tripping over Puff. Baby UFO, I am going to use the fairy forest. Baby UFO, that's great. I took a day. I'm doing the 7 days of Halloween. I've got, where did I put my little, oh, here they are. So starting on the, oh, I want to tell you guys, it's so bad. Where's my little index card with the thing on it? hold on one sec. I think you guys will find this interesting. Starting on, here it is. Okay. Starting on October 25th, we have the 7 nights of Halloween. The first video, and they're going to be shorter than normal, like 15 to 25 minutes. Halloween encounters with the black-eyed kids. On the 26th, we're talking about bizarre encounters of real demons in the closet, or entities in the closet, actually. I changed it because the encounters I got were not actual demons. Number 27, Demons in Death, the strange case of Michael Taylor. The 28th, a spooky tour through haunted Disneyland. I thought that'd be fun. 29, Tanaku Exorcism and the Exorcism of Pat Redding. The 30th, Death from Beyond, Ouija board killings. And on Halloween, horrible happenings on Halloween, which we'll be talking about, like murders and unsolved mysteries that happened on Halloween. So yeah, baby UFO, I try every year to do it. I think last year I was able to pull it off, and 2 years ago I couldn't, or last year I couldn't, and 2 years ago I did. But I do try to do it every year. So I'm working on the scripts and the filming now to have them ready by the 25th. And I'm going to be filming some stuff in the woods soon. Nutslap gave me a really good idea. Oh, okay. So we're doing it that way. All right, baby UFO, you do, because I see the connection. They kind of just ripped this card out. The Maybon, Shining Hope and Future, card number 37. I haven't puffed on my vape that much in a while, and I got to tell you, I haven't breathed this cleanly in a while. Do you need to go?
He's good.
You sure?
Yes, he's fine.
That's my handsome.
Giles is with him right now, so.
Okay. Baby UFO, the Maybon is the child of the darkest moment, born when bright hope beckons you into a positive future, born out of what has seemed to be the most hopeless space you have ever been within. This card indicates that you are now thinking magically. What you think, what you are, manifests around you at all times. Now, with this new magical mindset, you begin to transform your life into one of delight and hopefulness, and to uplift your companions with your vibrant, positive energy. When we allow ourselves to shine, we become who we are always meant to be, and by example, we encourage others to become who they truly are. Baby UFO, you are a powerful role model for others. Keep up the wonderful work. You still have many experiences ahead of you on your journey, but this energy is now your companion and your divine inspiration. Make a wish when you see stars. You may even have a homeland among them. See? This beautiful card of bright optimism is full of the joy everyone feels when you are celebrating magical living. It is effortless and joyful to do this divine work. The Maybon is the child born at winter solstice, so this card indicates a rebirth of positive light and energy after a time of lack. You are now about to receive great good fortune, and oh, how good the weight lifting off from your shoulders will feel. So that connection that you were talking about to UFO, or extraterrestrials, I mean, they are very highly connected to you, and they are bringing you a time of awakening after a dark night of the soul. Now, this is very interesting because the only other person I know right now that's coming into awakening, like within the next couple of weeks, is who we just met, Miss Bella Isabella. In the next, I'd say 2 weeks to a month, 2 months at most, a lot of your problems should like disintegrate. And it's not because you're not putting work, but like the work you're putting in is going to feel like not work. It's like, I have to do this. I have to do this. This sucks, but I'm going to do it. And you just do it. Bop, 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 bop. There's a happiness in you of something in your life. So whether it's a relationship or you just really like your job, even if sometimes it's crappy, there's a lot of positivity. Like you said, I'm positive today, despite that is your team being like, come on, we're going into awakening. Don't screw this up, you know? I don't think that you will. If you can keep it positive more than you keep it negative, you're going to be fine. And you are going to see a dramatic change. Now, people think you come into spiritual awakening and you're awakened. That is not how it works. If you're lucky, you get 3 months before you're back into another dark night of the soul, and you start the process again of vibrating even higher. Each time you have an awakening, you vibrate higher and higher. The major ones usually happen between 38 and 45, and then again between like 62 and 71. But it can happen at any time in your life. You can have a spiritual awakening when you're 3 or when you're 103. It's just, I see it mainly between 38 and 41, sometimes between 38 and 45. But it can happen at any time. As long as you keep it positive, they are giving you that. Those are the downloads you're receiving. It's not even like verbal downloads. It's just positive energy. Love, light, and peace. Love, light, and peace. Love, light, and peace. This is amazing because once you're in this awakening, it's like you can't lose. The abundance is there regardless. And I talked about, if you watch the video on toxic positivity, the reason we can't just think ourselves rich or famous or unburdened is because our mindset isn't the only thing that affects our vibration. Our subconscious, our superconscious, our conscious minds, our body, souls, and spirit. It's not just, I think it, therefore I am it. And it's just not true. In a literal sense of the word, the words. You have to put the work in. But I feel like it's going to be pretty easy on you in the next couple months. I always say like a redheaded stepchild. Who's next? Yeah, great. I can see my efforts. Yes. And the fact that you can see that you are making progress, you're not just like, oh, all I did was XYZ. It's like, no, I accomplished XYZ. That's amazing. I wish we could all think that way, myself included, right? We get so down on ourselves for not doing these giant, big, bold things. But really, all of the small moves we make and all of the tiny things we do lead to that or become that. But it's so hard sometimes to see the big picture. And happy belated birthday. Jules, I will never forget your birthday. Like I said, it's the same as my Eliana's. You are on the cusp of the revolution. Who's next?
Life with Bobby.
Miss Life with Bobby. I'm going to use El Quay.
You didn't see my comment, did you?
No, I did not. Hey, girl. What happened? Is it in private chat or is it? Oh. Every time if I'm doing a video chat with Ghost Dragons and his dad walks by, I'm like, hey, handsome. And he like slowly like backs up and he's like, that's my man right there. You're welcome. Yeah, baby steps every day. And yes, let's do it. The last of our kind. Yes, ma'am. We're all old souls, you know, and I feel like that's what it is too. We're all so blasé at this point, right? I don't think there's a single person in here who like, in fact, I would bet a lot on that, that we are all very like almost ancient souls, because a new soul would not be on any sort of spiritual quest. It just doesn't happen like that. It takes hundreds of lifetimes before we even start to try to understand the things we talk about in here. Most non-believers are newer. I wouldn't say brand new, but most non-believers, it would be very odd to find an old soul that is a non-believer in anything, right? Hi, Lel, you're next. I'm going to read for Life with Bobby right now. Guys, thank you for spending this time with us. Tomorrow is so busy for me. It's like the busiest day of the month for me tomorrow, but we get through. Oh, Jocelyn. She who persists. Perspective, defiant, and persistent. Jenna. Netter, I would love to go. I'm telling you guys, like, I have to get through a lot of things too. Like, I'm on this journey as well, but there will be a day when I meet most, if not all of y'all together or separately. It's going to happen. Bobby, that's amazing. And thank you for saying that. I like having you here. Every one of us, whether we talk a lot, don't say much, or whether it fluctuates, we all contribute to the energy of this group. Even the people listening and not commenting, listening afterwards. Are you serious? Look what don't anybody say anything. I don't want a political debate, but seriously, this is what I open up to. We'll edit that part out. Okay. She who persists, Jocelyn, wears a scarf on her head while baring her arms to the world. She will not be pigeonholed by society. She's on a quest to find herself in a way that makes sense to her own inner voice. Even though others around her try to get her to think a certain way or believe only one set of ideas, Jocelyn refuses to limit her perspective. Her gain in life is to live so she's noticed for doing things she holds important. It's not easy. It's not an easy path, Bobby, but Jocelyn will persist. Jocelyn reminds you to take stock in your personal values and ask yourself what you are willing to do to defend them. Nothing comes easily when she who persists shows up. She challenges you to prove you are willing to put forth the effort for things you believe in. Owning your own power can be frightening. Others may not stand beside you, but will you persist anyway? So I guess, Blue Crossroads, that's totally you. Netter, yes, please, please, please do that. You will immediately see a significant change. Okay. So, life with Bobby. Can you afford 5 minutes to merely sit and breathe quietly? What personal values are important to you? Are you prepared to face challenges? And how can you own your power? This is you wanting to do something or wanting to say something, wanting to get involved with or in something, but not because someone else is telling you you shouldn't. You are allowing someone to control some area of your life. And I don't even think you realize it. I think it's just like where you're like, I don't want this person to be mad, so I'm just not going to get involved. Like, you could really make a difference in this situation for someone else and energetically for yourself because you're getting involved and making a positive impact on someone. I don't know what this means, but I definitely see you watching something go on and you're just like, I could totally step in here and help. But then someone's like, no, like, it's not your business. Like, don't like, and you're listening to them. Or it could be like, I really want to do this. I know I can do this. Or I really want to do this. This will be so much fun. I deserve this. And there is some Karen, and I'm getting like a male energy, but it doesn't have to be a male. It could be a female with a lot of male masculinity in her charts. But I do think it's a male. I think it's a guy. I'm starting to get silly now. Like, this is the universe telling you, life with Bobby, if you want to do something, whether it's going to be impactful on yourself or on others or both, please do it. Stop allowing other people's opinions, ideas to kind of control how you move in your own space. You are so energetically strong, but I see you being suppressed. In the next couple of weeks, life with Bobby, if you want to do something, obviously, if it's not, don't do anything dangerous or illegal, like disclaimer. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but I do. If you get the urge to do something on a whim, I would say do it because I feel like that is where opportunity for growth and like a major change in your life that you weren't even expecting, but that you desperately like need energetically, you're reaching out for is going to happen. Acting on a whim, not asking for permission or advice. And it's better to ask for forgiveness and permission, right? Bobby, you got this. I feel like whatever this is, you might not know what it is, but it's going to hit you out of the blue. You're like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. That's going to be amazing. And it is going to be amazing, whatever it is. It's going to hit you. You're going to get a download in like the next 2 to 4 weeks. And you're going to be like, that is going to be awesome. And then you do it. And then because you do it, an unexpected opportunity comes in and you're like, wow, if I never made that whimsical decision on the fly, if I never called that audible, this never would have happened. I think they're home, so I do have to move through these a little quicker. Who's next?
Hallel. You know what I'm saying.
Hallel. I don't know how to pronounce it either, but they said that's okay, however it's pronounced. I'm going to use Gateway to the Liminal Spirits. Star. You could be dealing with an Aquarius, major Aquarius energy here. I know Smoochy Girl's my Aquarius because my sister is one as well. And my daughter's adopted mother. Well, her mother. Come on. These are so hard to find where the cards are because fiber, bone. Come on. They're in no like particular order. Bone, fiber, clay, metal, crystal, goat, hare, cat, deer. Okay, that's animals. Moth, peacock. Come on. Corvid, owl. I need blue. I'm sorry, guys. This happens every time. Monkshod, mandrake, mugwort, ash, birch. It'll be here. Walnut. Watch, it's like the first card. You've got to be kidding me, right? Okay, I'm sorry. I got to go page by page. This is ridiculous. Fruits, inspiration, time. It'll be here. Environments, star. Got it. It's between ocean and environment. I think a lot of us are hybrids. Haleo, our ancestors have long oriented themselves by the stars, using them as guides to travel long distances over land and sea. It's rites, R-I-T-E-S in all caps. Star is a term that describes what guides our path, the morals and ethics we use to navigate the world around us. Stars illuminate our journey, even in the darkest of times. If you're unsure where to go, simply pick one reference point that appeals to you and start heading in that direction. You can always change your path you're on. Letting indecision ground you means missing opportunities. The stars do not reside only in the sky above. They are all around us. When you feel alone or in the dark, look to find the light of the stars reflected in the people around you. Be mindful of false stars. Fear, hatred, insecurity, jealousy, and greed are trials we face on our human journey, but they should not be our guiding factors. So Haleo, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to pronounce, but I'm trying. I do feel like you are in the next few weeks, like you're making good decisions. I feel like you are pretty confident in like where you're going, why, what you're doing, who you're spending time with. And you don't even realize it, right? Because it's just something that you're doing. You're just living your life. The problem is you have a jealous one in your midst. I feel female energy. Again, though, it could be a male with a lot of femininity in their chart, but I think it's a chick. And it could also be an Aquarius. Either that or like you're really overthinking something. Like all of a sudden you're fine, you're doing great, you're thriving, or at the very least you're content, and somebody says something to like, and it throws a whole wrench in your works. Like, for example, say this was my real hair and I was like, oh my God, like I love this hair. I feel so pretty. I feel so confident and beautiful. And then someone says, oh yeah, if you like that kind of thing. Now I'm overthinking. Did I do the right thing? Do I look ugly? Does it make me look fat? Is this the right color for me? One word from one random person could make you overthink and completely ruin everything you're trying to accomplish. That is happening to you in the next 2 weeks if you aren't careful. Stand by and be bold about any decisions you make, small or major, and don't let a jealous person, if somebody's questioning you or saying things to like make you rethink things or like second guess yourself, analyze instead why they would say something like that. Because you're going to figure out that someone in your midst, there's a snake in your grass. Someone is smiling in your face, telling you, oh yeah, that hair looks really nice. And behind your back going, oh my God, did you see her? Ain't nobody got time for that. Who's next?
Harris Mana. Harris, you did want a card, right?
I did hear people in my house, but it was not my family. But I still want to get through them. So, Aerith, I am using Delano Waits. And I'm not, you know, I feel like if you were into the research and wanted to learn more about your DNA, about your ancestral line, you could probably find out the answer. But I do feel like you have a lot of fear around that. And because it's not something that's directly affecting you negatively right now, like why put yourself in that fear space? If you're ever brave enough to do it, I would. But like my mom is definitely a healer, but she doesn't want to work with it. And she suffers a lot physically because of that, but she doesn't believe me that a lot of her physical ailments are because of like, she has something with her inner ear that the doctors for like 15 years cannot diagnose. They've diagnosed 7 different things. It's not been any one of them. Every once in a while, she'll just be standing there and all of a sudden the room starts spinning. There's spots in her eyes and she has to lay down and she wants to vomit. And then it goes away just as quickly. This is something spiritual affecting her. All right, Miss Eris. Snow White. Card number 4. Eris, I have this jealous stepmother. She couldn't stand the idea of me being more beautiful than she was. She sent a hunter to kill me. I found refuge in the forest inside the house of 7 adorable dwarfs. The queen, disguised as an old lady, tried to kill me again with a poisoned apple. I fell into a deadly sleep. Angry and sad, the dwarves killed the queen, and a charming prince saved me with a true love kiss and took me to his castle. There may be a jealous and mean there may be jealous and mean people around you, Eris, but please don't let them poison your heart. Kindness is a most precious thing that always wins in the end. Even when scared or sad, don't stop being kind. Kindness will always make you beautiful and lovable. Sweetness and softness can really do no harm in this cruel world. So raise my flag high, my dear, and be as kind as you can be. I always say it's a quote from Jewel, her song Hands. But at the end, she does say, in the end, only kindness matters. And that's true. Only love matters. Love is the only thing that you can take with you energetically. And kindness is kind of under the love umbrella. Sorry. Stop it, Gemma. Eris, I just feel like, and this is something we talked about this week, like you just have an amazing, very positive, big energy. Just make sure you're not faking that. If something comes up you're uncomfortable with, don't people please, right? Don't go out of your way to be kind to someone when they're treating you like poopy, right? Make sure you set and enforce boundaries. It's okay if some people don't like you. They're not your people. I feel like a lot of us go out of our way to try to get people to like us, when at the end of the day, those people aren't even meant to be in our lives. Ghost is, they want to know, is Pops okay? Heather, you're next, hon. I'm giving you space to talk, hon.
Yeah, he's okay. He landed on his butt.
Aww.
He's okay. His legs gave out.
My poor baby.
He'll be okay.
I'm going to send him your card instead, so.
That's fine. No, he bruises no matter what. He's like me now. All you have to do is touch him and he bruises. He's had that super soft skin now.
No, I know. Eris, I think that's exactly what your team wanted to hear. And you know what? I'm the same way. And I think a lot of us could learn from that if we're not already doing it. I think a lot of us are there. I just learned that in the past couple of years. I don't have to be kind to everyone. I don't ever have to be cruel or unkind to some people. I just don't have to be anything. All right, Heather B. I'm using the Aether Creatures. I've been waiting all night to use this deck. I can't stand Teal Swan, but I do like this deck. I haven't been able to get a new deck since March. I'm so glad Christmas is coming. I haven't gotten a new deck since my birthday. And it was Lords and Ladies. I bought it for myself. It wasn't even a good deck. I've only used it once. And my mom bought me the classic horror and celebrity, which I do use from time to time in the personals. And yeah, I don't mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't have to be disrespectful. We don't have to be unkind, but we don't have to go out of our way either. You know, we don't have to expend extra energy on people who treat us like poop. Somebody else drew this card in the past few days, Heather. You got the Hexanacula, card number 64, in the upright position. If a hexanicola appears to you right side up, Heather, it is a sign of confirmation. It means that you are right to be unselfish, loyal, altruistic, considerate, kind, family-oriented, empathic, and responsible in the situation at hand. Not only that, but you are to be commended for it. At this moment, you are not slipping into the shadow of self-sacrifice, and instead, you are right to be a good Samaritan in this scenario. You are being how you would wish others to be, and this is the most important part of creating the kind of world you wish to see. So Heather, what I see here is you have been dealing or have dealt with a lot of toxicity, particularly from one person. I feel like you're going to come to a crossroads in the next couple of weeks, if this isn't already happening, where this toxic, very unkind, cruel person is going to need somebody. And I do think it's genuine, not a manipulation or breadcrumbing tactic. However, Aunt Edna and Jules and Eris and we were just talking about this. If somebody treats you badly, you don't owe them anything. You don't have to be cruel and be like, F you, I'll never, but you can do nothing or the bare minimum, right? If there's no equal reciprocation, if equal reciprocity is not there, you owe them nothing. Please do not be breadcrumbed back, even though, like, I'm being honest, it is a genuine need for you. But is it a need because they need supply? I do see a physical thing. There's something physical going on with this person, but it could be exaggerated. Do not get sucked back in to being the doormat for this person. I feel like even if you couldn't physically detach, you have been working on, to the best of your ability, emotionally detaching, working on Heather, looking inward, doing everything you can, being the best person you can be, regardless of how this person chooses to behave and live their life, side by side with you. You don't have to give up anything for them. Don't miss a couple days of school to nurse them back to health. Because that's the kind of stuff they're going to be asking for. They're testing you. They're testing your loyalty. And the fact of the matter is, your loyalty should, and I don't think it does, lie with them anymore. And that is confusing to you, because I feel like you do love whoever this is very much. Unfortunately, honey, their actions show you they don't love you. And I'm not being condescending, because I get it. Don't get sucked back in the next couple of weeks. If they have something physically wrong with them, let them take an ambulance to the hospital. Let them call their mama. You do not, if you choose to, that's fine. But I feel like emotionally, it's going to set you back. Who are the timestamps? KC and Lotus? All right.
Yes, ma'am. Doing KC first. Okay, I'm sorry.
KC, I'm going to use Fairy Forest. Baddies, pose for me. Ass fast, slim thick, no tummy. KC, you got card number 40, Queen of the Darkwood Elves. I love this card. She is so beautiful. Premonition, foreshadowing, and mystery. Not a surprise. You are a Pisces sun. Us Pisces suns kind of deal with premonition, foreshadowing, and mystery, like in our daily lives, everything we do. So let's see what this card has to say. Guys, still sending out love, light, and just tremendous love to KC, who lost her husband of 45 years, learning to live a whole different way, and they weren't in like a toxic thing like a lot of us are. They were in love and married. So all right, Miss KC, sometimes there is a stirring, a shimmering movement, subtle but unmistakable, in the web called WYRD word that connects us all. This is one such time. KC, the Queen of the Darkwood Elves, has come forth to speak with you and ask you to be aware that something is approaching. When she appears, there is a kind of foreboding and unsettled energy akin to when a storm is gathering its power. There is a very potent force readying itself in your life, and while its impact is yet to be truly felt and experienced, it is best to ready yourself now. So when this card comes, make good your defenses. Tend to injuries and wounds, be the psychic, mental, or physical. Be they psychic, mental or physical. Take care of unfinished business and bring in whatever you can. Gather up resources and be ready for when the moment strikes and descends upon you. Because something that was unexpected could have harmed you, could have taken you unaware. But now you are forewarned, and truth be told, you are forearmed. There is no cause to be scared, frightened, or anxious. This card indicates that you have time to prepare, grow stronger, and meet whatever it is that is coming face on. You will move through the time you are now warned of, and you will be even stronger due to the challenge. But make no mistake, there is a challenge coming, Casey, and you can now prepare to minimize its impact and ride out the intense wave of energy it brings into your life. This is that pushback we were talking about. You wanting to do a certain thing a certain way, or move forward in a way that's different than other people. Like other people are eyeing you, like your every move, to see if like you're mourning correctly or if you're grieving properly. Like everybody has those types of people in their lives. But I do feel like someone, unfortunately, after everything you've effing been through, is going to try to make you look wrong in some way, like othered in some way, try to shame you or guilt you about something. Casey, please stand your ground in this. You are not wrong. You are not guilty. Whatever this is you've decided to do, you've decided for your own reasons. And nobody scared the crap out of me, no matter how much you love them or they love you, has the rights to guilt or shame you into doing things the way they want them done, or into not doing something you want to do. What's happening? Hold on, guys. Drama. There's like spiritual drama. Do you ever heard like spirits argue? It's the weirdest thing. There's like, I want everything in front of me so that I can be aware. So when I see something suddenly pop in and creep up on this side, and it's like a blast of white, it's scary, you know, because it's not because there's anything scary. It's like, it's startling when you get that out of the corner of your eye and you're like, what the actual F word? And Blue, that is actually very true. I definitely will give her your number. That's true. Multifaceted Jules, where I'm just doing Lotus's timestamp. So thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for being beautiful and amazing and for validating me. To the newcomers, I do always appreciate that. And I love the time we spend here. Miss Lotus, I'm using Oracle of the Hecatean Path. Ghost, after I get myself settled, if there's time, I'm going to jump on Fortnite. So I'll keep you posted on that. Okay. Lotus, Philarmos, Lover of Solitude, card number 20, the card of retreats. Now is the time to focus inwardly on self-care and reconnecting to our practice. The magical maxim to keep silent also comes to mind. Now is the time to talk about our devotions or even our love of the goddess. Focus on finding your own way to her rather than helping or relying on others. Withdraw, reflect, process. Silence is golden. When we are still and truly listen, only then do we hear the truth. So Lotus, I'm going to keep this short and sweet because you are my last one. Oh, thank you, Long Island Bigfoot. It's so good to see you, sir. It's the Oracle of the Hecatean Path. So Miss Lotus, this is you. Like, I see you in this thing of like, okay, fine. If that's how you want to do it, then go ahead and do it. Like, not really bitter, but just like, and I told you so thing. Like, you are going to end up saying I told you so, but not right now. Right now, what the universe is asking you to do is take a step back, focus on you, and let everyone else iron out the small details, because nobody's really listening to what you have to say anyway. Unfortunately, it's not cool, but I feel like you've put so much effort and energy into a certain situation that for someone else that's involved not to even consider your experiences or your feelings or your thoughts, Step back, take care of yourself, look inward. And I know you've got a lot going on with the business where like you've got to keep pushing forward, and you and your husband are both very physically ill and you never get a break. You have got to take a break. 12 minutes of sitting and doing nothing but even if it's overthinking, don't get involved. There's a move to be made here. I feel like it could end up being a good one. But at the end of the day, I do hear you saying, I told you so, or wanting to say that. The fact of the matter is, whatever you're trying to prevent from happening is going to happen anyway. So good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. So you might as well sit back, watch the universe work, and focus on the lessons you can gain from whatever this is. It doesn't necessarily have to be bad. I just feel like this person is doing stuff with extra steps. So it's not like they're doing the wrong thing, but they're taking like the a-hole way. They're taking the back roads instead of the highway when you really need to get whatever this is done. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, no, I know, Jules. All right, guys, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for coming in. Don't forget, donate, PayPal, Cash App. Next week will be $2 per card if you're not a member, $5 for timestamps. I'm just trying it out. Let's see how it works. And I hope the rest of you, even if you don't want to or can't pay the money, will still come and join us and hang out. Blue Crossroads, have an amazing birthday tomorrow. I will definitely reach out to you. I'm going to put you in the community tab. I'm going to hook you up on Facebook. And I'm sorry I couldn't send you a gift. I really would have. I made it a point to remember your birthday this year. Yeah, everybody else, good night. Sleep tight, sweetest dreams. And I will see you Monday. What are we talking about Monday? Oh, dang. I just did the video on it. It's not very long. Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern, we've got the pre-recorded. I can't remember what it is, though, but I'm sure it'll be something super duper fun. Bye. Oh, no, he's a Libra, girl.